this morning. We got Trent finally got his login.
Hey!
So for the first time, we didn't have to wake Felipe up to let us on a computer.
That's good.
And then it takes about 15 minutes for it to log on in the morning. And then all my everything I've saved is gone. I'm under a new user now. So this morning's been a pain in the butt.
Trent, did you hit the app button?
Yeah, hit the app button. Trent, that app button. The app button. Make sure.
Oh, yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Thank you for the reminder.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's when they run live games because they can't run the streaming of the NFL. They can't stream the NFL on their app. It's against the law.
So this puts us back on the stream.
Correct.
After last night. Gotcha.
Now, Chris told me they don't have a live board op anymore.
No.
So I don't know why it is,
but maybe they switch. I don't know.
I know.
Again, I don't.
So do I. I just know it always seems to be after they have a national football broadcast. A Thursday, Sunday, Monday.
That is how it was at the station I worked at in Nashville too. Like they would run the Westwood One, like Dallas Cowboys games, and they couldn't stream it.
Right.
So you had to do the same thing, similar thing.
Jim Katt's 85, David. That's all I thought I'd let you know.
Jim Cott.
Cott. Why do I always want to say Cat? Jim Cott.
Jim Cott's 85. Jim Cott. Should be in the Hall of Fame. Like 280-something wins. Sandy Koufax has kept him out of the Hall of Fame. He threw a 5-hitter in Game 7 for the Twins against the Dodgers. Problem was Koufax threw a 2-hitter. I think Cott beat Drysdale twice in that series. He pitched Game 7 on 3 days rest. Koufax pitched Game 7 on 2 days rest. They both went the distance. Morning, look at this. AJC, Coffin Ball, Ambient, Baby Jules, Go Raiders, Canada Relief. What do you mean allowed? KW, T. Haynes. Well, first off, I have no choice. All right.
Well, yeah, you do. Water.
Well, no. First off, no.
You got plenty of choices.
First off,
the water is more expensive than the soda. All right, so that bothers me. So I'll drink the free water. I do drink diet. I actually drink the zeros stuff for the sugar. But Canada Relief and what have you, all I got is I got a regular Coke and a regular Sprite. That's all I got left.
Michigan State did lose last night. Did you see that?
Yeah, to James Madison in overtime.
I watched the whole game. Stayed up for that.
That's all right. The number 1 women's team got beat last night. LSU lost.
True. That is true. There's hope.
No, there's not.
I love expectations. I love it. So whenever it's my team,
hey, I'll give him credit. The schedule last night was horrendous. Outside of USC and Kansas State, I mean, James Madison's a real team.
Right.
Okay.
And no, they Sun Belt.
Yes. In fact, they said we cannot get good non-conference games this year. And he goes, I give Coach Izzo a lot of credit. He goes, you no idea how many no's we got.
All right, we're on in 10 seconds.
And Izzo said, sure, I'll play. But isn't somebody at James Madison related to Izzo?
His nephew.
Isn't it like a nephew or something?
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Top of the morning to you. And listen, if you watch Monday Night Football, you got a good night's sleep because there's no way you made it to the end of that game. How the heck are you? We are Miller and Moulton. This is the Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. Terrific show lined up for you. David Samson, Pat Kirwan. Heck, we even have a guest in our Diamond District bonus hour for those in the 239. But top of the morning to you, Mark. Come on, you didn't make it to the fourth quarter of that Monday night game, did you?
Hell no. Hell no. I was just thinking about the break that we get. See, sometimes I try to, as much as I can, David, watch every single game that I can watch. That's what I try to help out with and bring as little to the table as I bring on this show. Try to watch a lot of games, try to get a good vibe as to what's going on. But I am taking football off until Sunday at 1 o'clock from the NFL standpoint, because I had that fiasco last night, which was just dreadful football. Dreadful.
Come on, Mark.
Thursday night, we get Carolina and Chicago. Take the game off. There's no need to watch it.
Ooh. Right now, those are the teams drafting second and third overall. But Carolina,
no. The same team's drafting second.
Well, I know. I was just going to say, but the one team in that game has the other team's pick. Boy, that's Al Michaels going to be in rare form. Now, you got to watch that game just for the sarcastic comments.
And then Sunday morning, they're in Frankfurt, Germany again for the Colts and the Patriots.
Oh, it's Peyton and Brady. No. I mean, it's Peyton and Brady. You know, the one guy's in his 50s and the other guy's in his mid-40s. They're going to play. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be flag football. That's what they're going to do. That game's going to be a flag game. It still counts in the standings.
So until the Texans and Bengals and the Niners and Jags get it on at 1 o'clock on Sunday, I'm taking the NFL off for a few days.
Okay.
That's what last night did to me. Last night just said, hey, this product is not as good as we say it is.
Just because the winning team had 189 yards of offense, what are you trying to say? Secondly, the uniforms aren't bad, though. I mean, the baby blues came out last night. Now, I like them better when they got the home white pants than the road yellow. Okay, but I got to admit, I said to the guys in the booth, I need a moment. When they came out for warm-ups, okay, I said, I just need a moment. I need to take this in. It was emotional. It was. Man, I love those unis.
I love that team. You know that. That's my
Oh,
turn.
I know. I thought about you when the kid took the punt back. I said, that was for Mark Miller right there.
Just getting home from gymnastics, threw the TV on to watch a punt return go to the house. I was like,
Yep.
Thank you, Chargers, because I don't want to watch the second half of this game tonight.
If anybody gives me grief again about how much I say Zach Wilson sucks, honestly, okay, we're going to put in this game tape. Never can stats be more misleading. He's terrible. Charles Barkley, terrible. All right? Stop talking about the Jets in the playoffs. There's no way in blank. Okay? I don't know with Zach Wilson if the Jets could win the Big Ten West.
Jets offense
and
Iowa offense.
There you go. Man, over under 17.5. Anyway, so, all right, fine. Put the NFL to bed. That's fine. We can do that. Trent, once again, chipper as heck. First off, he's got a key that allows him in the back door. Okay, and he can actually log onto the equipment in his own name. Okay, it's not like we're cheating, and he's still using Felipe's info. So he feels like, A, he's a part of us, and B, his beloved college hoops got underway, even though the team that you and he root for is already 0-1.
0-1. Yeah, we are so back right now.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
It just feels like mid-season form already for Michigan.
Look at this.
It's awful.
All right, college. I thought of it last night when I saw the score. I went, well, okay. And I had no idea he needed like 10 or 11 points out of the Monday night game. And I'm thinking to myself, this could be a disastrous night for Trent.
That was at least that happened for me. That was my
okay. And of course, I had forgot the player, and then I can't figure out the point totals. And all I know is that I said, make sure you have Austin Eckler. He's going to have a big game. Okay, and he had 3 drops. And he's still, but still, he scored 2 touchdowns. There we go. All right. So good deal. Good deal. Managers getting paid. Hell, Matt, how about a guy who didn't think he just had his boss, all right, 5 weeks ago say he's our guy. And he still had a year left on his contract and then an option year after that. He woke up yesterday morning, got a phone call, said, hey, boss, how's it going? Okay. You're at the meetings? Yeah. How's it going? Yeah, you're fired. Well, what? Wait, what? We missed the playoffs by a game. You're fired. You know, the team that finished the game ahead of us, they went to the World Series. Yeah, you're fired. Huh. Wow. So, you know, that had to be a kick and a half. He's like, hey, you know, I helped us win the World Series. You know, we got one in 115 years. And we really appreciate that. You're fired. Wow. Damn. Okay. But here, you know what was my favorite story yesterday? Favorite story of the day. All right. Because of the rules. Have you been reading up on the Big Ten rules?
There's a sportsmanship rule. That's what I'm aware of. That's the only rule that I really need to be completely aware of is the Big Ten sportsmanship clause, David.
Right. Yes. And Mark, apparently this is going to be a very important clause. Okay. I mean, almost as big a clause as Santa. All right. That's how big this clause could be, because I have a feeling this case is going to be adjudicated for the next 3 or 4 Christmases that Santa Claus is busy in. So apparently, Mark, in order to use this clause, you have to give like 48 hours written notice, which I find hysterical. They actually thought, wait, why? Yeah, no, you can't invoke the sportsmanship clause. Well, that's bad sportsmanship. You got 2 days notice minimum before you invoke the sportsmanship clause.
Do you know what the sportsmanship clause maximum suspension is?
I think I do. I think
2
I do.
games.
Correct.
And 10 grand.
There you go.
Jim Harbaugh spits 10 grand.
He does. Well, he drives around his John Deere tractor cutting grass. Okay. And the grass that's flying out the sides, that's the 10 grand. Yep.
10 grand in 2 games.
Right. Now, and
Now,
that's...
if they suspend him for Penn State and Maryland, it would be so rich that he'd be back for the Ohio State game.
And of course, since Fox is running the conference, okay, what do you think is going to happen? And they sent the official letter and phone call and then what have you yesterday. So, you know, we do the 2 days and then today, tomorrow, and yes, so there you go. And there's a debate, Mark. Mark, read your damn sportsmanship clause, okay? There's a debate as to whether or not in the clause they can also penalize a team. They can penalize an individual, as you said. They can suspend an individual for 2 games, fine them up to $10,000. But there's a debate as to whether or not they can penalize a team by using that clause. They may have to convene like a whole other secret meeting, different hats and everything, you know, robes, okay, you know, just a big gong, smoke, you know, they may have to go that route.
What is this, Laramie Tunsil's draft party?
Yes. Well, that's pretty much going to be Michigan's defense, I think. We don't know this guy, all right? I mean, military. What? The guy was in the military? Sir, intelligence? Wait, what? You mean we trained him for espionage? What are you talking about? We didn't know that. So
that's later. That's for later this week.
Maybe. Maybe. I don't know if they're allowed to do it. Don't know if they're allowed to convene that special meeting with the bongs and the gongs and the new hats, and I don't know. It depends on how you read the clause. It's apparently up for interpretation. How can that be, by the way? I mean, you're sitting down to do what? Make rules. Well, shouldn't the rules be pretty easy to understand? You can do this, you can't do that. But apparently it's open for interpretation. And Michigan has vowed they're going to sue everyone and everything.
Everybody.
Okay. Just, we'll tie this thing up past the World Cup. Honestly. We'll lose 2 more Ryder Cups before this thing's adjudicated. Are you serious?
The 2032 Michigan team could be in big trouble. That's all I know.
Got that right. I mean, LIV guys will be back on the PGA Tour before this thing gets processed. Are you kidding me?
By the way, how's that merger coming along?
It's just, I hear they're running into money problems. I hear the one side has all of it and the other side has none. And yet the side with none wants all the power. And the side with all the money goes, yeah, that's not how it works. So, I don't know. I think they've got issues.
They seem to be at an impasse, David. This seems to have come to a head, and well, at least we have the Michigan story to focus on.
Well, and Mark, usually when it involves money, the person with money is sitting there going, hey, when you're ready to see it my way, call.
Which is part of why this Big Ten thing is so fantastic.
Right.
Because the Big Ten, with all their money, wants Michigan to play for and in the playoff.
Of course they do.
Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again.
Hi. Excuse me.
Hey, the line starts back here.
Ma'am, if your party's not here, you're gonna have to go around again.
If you had the opportunity to avoid all this, wouldn't you?
Salt Live is the official transportation provider of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show, making your trip to and from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Live is supported with the help of local partners like the Bayfront Inn. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone on 5th Avenue in downtown Naples. BayfrontInNaples.com. When you need a ride, book with Salt Live Transportation, 308-8686, or book on saltlivetransportation.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Hey, you never had any? Did you ever try that John Rothstein for college hoop?
I don't know if I have a contact info for John Rothstein.
I didn't know if you tried to find it. He's the guy. He's up every morning on Twitter posting college basketball stuff. But it always starts off, some people have hobbies. I watch college basketball. And then he gives you the games of the day.
He's great.
He's
electric.
Yeah, I mean,
he eats, breathe. He has like mottos for every single program. Even like the random Mountain West programs. He's got like a catchphrase.
Well, he put an injury report out for the A-Sun yesterday.
Yes, I saw he sent out 24 injury reports, an injury report per conference.
Yeah.
I was reading it. By the way, just USC, thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. They're a top 20 program.
Who are you thanking?
I'm thanking myself on yours behalf. I don't mean you. I just, that was
John Rothstein. Ryan is the guy. Jon.
His big thing is
the other guy who does. The other guy, there's two others who eat and sleep hoops: Jeff Goodman and John Fanta. But just
and Fanta's unbelievable on air. Rothstein on Twitter is out of the three, he's the best. To me, the best. They're all great. I'd go Rothstein, Goodman, Fanta from a Twitter standpoint.
Yes, I agree. Johnny, is it just your Twitch? Because
a couple people are complaining.
Oh, National Merlot Day. Okay. Yeah, come on. You know the deal. Turn it off, turn it on. It fixes everything. Great day to have a day. Yeah. You can take that a bunch of ways. Great day to be alive, or great day to, make it happen today. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Johnny Finger Lakes, I'm guessing the Bills still have you down, huh? Well, I don't know about that, Ryro. I mean, some of us do a little self-loathing. Hey, Trent, it's about time for a time cue. What do we got?
Holy
You know what?
cow.
You nailed that because we're right at 30 seconds.
Wow.
So there you go. It's like you're doing this once or twice or something. You've done this.
Feeling it. It's time for a day. That's what I see.
15 seconds.
Someone got a little more. What time did you get back to the hotel?
No, the blowout games are the worst. Okay, it's a log slog. Okay, you want a close game where everybody stays to the end, and then you race to your car and you're first one out. No. These are the worst. No, it took a while.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
It's 21 minutes past the hour. Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. .com. It's a Tuesday. We have great Tuesdays. Statistically, the least favorite day of the week. Yep. Even Mondays grade out better than Tuesdays every time they do the surveys. Nobody has Tuesday as their favorite day. Like 4 people in all of North America have Tuesday as their favorite day. We have great Tuesdays.
Do you think, when's the last time you saw that survey? I think you're going on dated material, and I'm not knocking it because I know it's factual, but I think an updated survey on that may change Tuesday's outlook, because I think these surveys were all done before the popularity of Taco Tuesday came into effect.
That's a new thing? Taco Tuesday?
It's this century.
Is it post-pandemic? Because I thought the last one I saw was 2020, 2021. Here, now, there's 2 ways to look. It's kind of like the Big Ten sportsmanship clause, Mark. There's a couple different ways you can look at it. There's one way to look at the survey. Tuesday's got low negatives, but it's got very low positives. So while there's other days, most every other day has, I don't like this day. Tuesday has very little of that, but they have no one that says it's their favorite day of the week.
I understand.
Okay. So, like 1%, 1 to 3% every time they do this survey has, what's your favorite day of the week? Tuesday. And it's Taco Tuesday. That hasn't caught on.
Don't know if it deserved that voice.
What day is today? It's Taco Tuesday. I don't even know what that voice is.
No one does.
You know what it is? It was Zach Wilson getting up from one of the 8 sacks last night. So, hey guys, we gotta start matriculating the ball down the field. It does kind of sound like a young Hank Stram, doesn't it? Come on, Lenny. Keep pumping it in there, Lenny. No. Oh, well.
It was worth the effort.
David Samson, Pat Kirwan. All right. In our bonus hour, we'll honor Trent and the college basketball season with a college basketball head coach. Huh? In a game that'll be nationally televised tonight. Huh? So there you go. Got that to look forward to, which is nice. We're halfway through the NFL regular season.
Yes.
And we're 3/4 of the way through the college football regular season. Man, that hit me this morning. Made me sad.
And with the college football season, the one thing that the new conference alignment should do, don't know if it will, but based on seeing early schedules, there should be more great weekends of great games. We should have more matchups of top teams playing one another. Because without Michigan and the sign stealing, what would the Michigan season be this year? They haven't played a significant football game yet.
No.
Georgia's played a few close games, but it's been more on Georgia than it has because of this unbelievable scheduling that the Dogs have come through.
Plus, I would also argue the middle of the SEC is tougher than the middle of the Big Ten. Big Ten's actually down this year, don't you think? I mean, we look back. I mean, we got 3 teams, and that's it.
That's it.
I mean, honestly, give me the 4th best team in the Big Ten. Go.
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, I'm not being funny here. Is it Rutgers?
It's not Rutgers, because I think Maryland's better than Rutgers.
Okay.
I'm
okay. And I think they play coming up, right? So we'll find out. But I mean, we're not going to pick somebody from the West, are we? I mean, Iowa, Minnesota. I mean, the Big Ten's down this year, which is another reason, by the way. Somebody did a very analytical breakdown of the Big Ten and said, are we sure Ohio State, Michigan, and Penn State are as good as we think they are? and they started going through offensively. You know, Mark, it goes back to, remember 2011, the Alabama and LSU defenses. Now they put, 80 guys in the NFL, so it was legit. But the SEC that year was terrible, and especially offensively. The quarterback play was dreadful. Well, look at the Big Ten this year. The Big Ten offensively, look at where the teams rank offensively. And don't tell me it's because of good defense. It's because of dreadful offensive play. I mean, most of the Big Ten is between 80 and 130 offensively.
Well, Wisconsin's not very good.
Not this year, no. This transition, Luke Fickell trying to make them a little more wide open and what have you. They don't know who they are right now.
There isn't anybody that's come out of nowhere and surprised in the Big Ten this year.
Right. There's no Purdue like last year. What Louisville is this year in the ACC, the Big Ten doesn't have one of those.
I mean, not to talk about my team, but Sparty for 15 years had been an average to above average program. They're dreadful. I mean, they're dreadful. They're one of the worst teams in college football this year.
And they just beat the team that was tied for first in the West.
Right.
Yeah.
In a game that set football back at least 25 years.
No. Only 5-7. Last night's game. Okay. Whoo-wee. Before the final drive that the Jets, garbage time, so to speak, neither team had 200 yards of offense last night. That network pays, do the quick math here, how much money they pay per game. They paid about $140 million for that game last night.
What's that breakdown per yard of offense?
Oh, my good. I'll figure it out here before the starting five.
They need a pencil and a piece of paper for that one, David.
I'll really depress. They send a prominent ESPN executive to all the games now. They sit in the meetings. I now have to start watching what I say. I'm not doing a very good job of it, but, especially when I told them, somebody said, "You work for ESPN." I said, "No, actually I work for Troy."
Went over really well with the ESPN executive.
No, went over well with Joe and Troy, though.
Well, I guess that's all that matters.
It's a very small focus group, Mark. It really is. It's kind of like when you grow up in the household. You got one parent or two. I mean, really, that's it. It's a small but authoritative focus group. But, so yeah, back to the scheduling. Here's the problem, though, Mark. I'm just throwing it out there. Are the fans of the big boys, and you figure out how many of the college schools are big boys, they going to be okay with all these? I mean, take a look at Michigan's schedule next year.
Oh, I know.
And now, first off, Michigan's losing like 40 terrific players. So, and Harbaugh's
and their head coach.
Right. But, I mean, they could be a really solid team next year. And if they have a good year, go 8-4. I mean, seriously, their schedule's brutal next year.
Look at I'm not trying to pick on the Florida fan, but look at how tough it has been for the Florida fan to deal with mediocrity.
Right.
They expect to win 12 games every damn year.
Yeah.
And I love the fans' expectations. But in these new conferences, donuts are going to be next to impossible.
Yeah.
Hell, 10s are going to be difficult. And it's the one question you and I have asked many times. Can the college football fan handle 10-2 for their elite program?
That's 10-2. Never mind what if, it's between 7-5 and 9-3. What if college football begins to look very NFL-esque? Are these boosters going to keep writing these checks for 8-4, 9-3 seasons? Starting five is next.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Yeah, Mark, you were with me on that. I thought David was done with his thoughts, so I hit the. That's my bad. I mean, it was right on time, but we could have.
No, it was early.
It was early. We go to 1, not 3. It's 3.
Oh, okay.
2,
Then my fingers
1.
must have been off because the time was right where it should have been, but I just.
Maybe it's me. I'll take it.
It's not you. It's me. Is Panthers Bears actually Thursday Night Football?
Yes.
Who is going to watch that? People who want the number 1 pick. Well, the Bears get both.
And then Patriots. The London game is Patriots Colts.
Jeez.
All right. Somebody says it could be Belichick's last game as coach. That they're going to fire him.
Right.
Yeah. All of a sudden, this race for the number 1 pick is a little bit more interesting than I thought it would be. Because I initially just thought the Bears and Panthers.
You get Broncos and Bills Monday? That's a treat. And we get Jets and Raiders Sunday night. I will not watch one primetime football game this week.
Is Broncos Bills? Where is that?
Buffalo.
Oh.
I will say, in 13 days, we've got Eagles Chiefs.
You got San Francisco and the Jags at 1. You got the Lions and the Chargers at 4. That's it. Oh, no, I'm sorry. There's some good 1 o'clock games. Texans, Bengals, Browns, Ravens. All right. I'm in.
Yeah, Browns Ravens is big for importance, I guess.
I think this is the last Sunday. I don't know if NBC can flex out of this. It's too late anyway.
I think this is the last one they have to take.
I think this is the last one they have to take. Remember, I said I'm really supposed to be behaving at these production meetings. So we start talking about, are we going to flex out of any of the future Monday night games? The first game we can flex out of is Bears at Vikings. And I think if the Vikings, but there's limited number of games you can flex to. Fox can claim games, CBS can claim games. You know, it's not like you've got the whole, plus NBC can flex out of their game. And I think NBC takes priority. So it's complicated. But we're supposed to come back here in a month. We've got a doubleheader Monday, Giants, Packers, Titans, Dolphins. And so I just said, listen, I'm assuming that the network's going to stick with those 2 games. But I know Joe and Troy was originally scheduled to do Packers Giants. I go, I'm assuming we're going to do Titans Dolphins instead. And the ESPN executive goes, oh, I don't think so. And I go, why? And they go, oh, those two brands. And I go, Jordan Love, Tommy DeVito, those brands?
Ooh.
And he looks at me and I go, you do know that could be like 4-8 against 2-10. I go, you're really going to have Joe and Troy do 4-8 against 2-10? I said, hey, I grew up a Giants fan. My mom's a half hour from here. I go, I grew up here. Fine by me. I go, and I didn't say what the next sentence was. But I'm thinking to myself, you paid those guys that amount of money to do 4-8 against 2-10? I mean, I don't know. Tyreek, Tua, fighting for first in the AFC East. Hell, I did say, I go, I think to see Will Levis would excite more people than to see Jordan Love or Tommy DeVito. I didn't even mention the Dolphins. I said D-Hop, Derrick Henry, Will Levis.
Coming back.
That's just me. That's a time cue, by the way.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
"22 minutes before the hour, David Samson joins us at the top of the hour. Lot to talk with him about. Pat Kirwan, a little more than an hour. Pat Chambers, the FGCU men's basketball coach, will join us in the bonus hour. They tip off their season tonight in Bloomington. It will be a very emotional Assembly Hall in Indiana after the passing of the General Robert Montgomery Knight last week. So that's what you have to look forward to. Plus our witty banter, our repartee. Hell, to go along with the play of the day.
Boy, you're going to have a hell of a nap today, David. That's all I can tell. There's a lot of adrenaline right now. You're feeling it. You are going to crash and burn at 10 a.m. or sometime shortly thereafter like nobody's business.
So I took a 2.5-hour nap yesterday.
Good for you.
2.5-hour nap. We had the primetime game Saturday night. All right. Then we went to Atlanta during the middle of the night. I slept an hour in the hotel, had the 6 a.m. flight to Jersey, wanted to spend as much time as I could with my mom and best friend on Sunday. And so basically I had 3.5 hours sleep, and it was disjointed at 3 different locations. I got like an hour here, an hour there. And, slept decently before our show yesterday, but I knew I would barely make it through the production meeting. And Mark, 12:15 to 2:45. Oh, it was glorious. The room was on like 37 degrees. We were hanging beef, and in the room I was sleeping, and then we get to the stadium and there's never food in the booth until halftime. Yeah, there's some snacks, chips and whatever, but there's not food, if you know what I mean. And all of a sudden at like 6 o'clock, this tray of food shows up, and it's the suite workers with it. And we're like, no, you've got the wrong room. And she goes, no, we just had a cancellation. All right. And we've got this extra food, and we figured we'd give it to you guys. And Mark, they had cannolis.
You had dessert for dinner, didn't you?
I grabbed the biggest cannoli at 6 o'clock, shoved it in my mouth with 2 hands, and made an announcement to everybody in the booth. I'm 57 years old. I had a 2.5-hour nap at a cannoli. Life doesn't get much better than this.
Did everybody stop, look at you for a second or two, and then go right back to what they were doing?
Yeah, they've, I'm the guy that everybody just shakes their head at, and says, hey, he's somebody's, son, somebody's dad. Just, let him be. I guess he has some redeeming value somewhere, just not here. The other workers just shake their head and go, don't know what Troy sees in him. Yeah, me neither. But a nap and a cannoli, honestly. Come on now. How many of you had a better day than that? A power nap and a cannoli.
Time now for
The Starting Five. 5 stories you need to know. It's the Starting Five on Miller and Moulton. Here's number 1.
You can just see Moulton the rest of the game going, leave the gun, take the cannoli.
Yes. I kept walking back, and there were still cannolis. John Perry.
You only had one.
I only had the one. I thought it would be rude. There were only 8. They've like, I don't know, 12 to 15 people in the booth and what have you. And so I thought it would be rude.
And when has that stopped you before?
Well, once again, this is where, it's one thing to be rude in amongst a local radio show crew. It is, plus the executive was in the booth. Okay.
Did he have a cannoli?
I don't think so. It looked like he was, water and, he's skinny.
Right, in
out.
shape. Right.
Right. Yeah. Him and Troy talking about their walk and their workout and what have you. And I'm talking about cannolis. But hey, it was better than the game.
Most anything was.
Chargers. Who knew early first quarter when they returned to punt for a touchdown that would be it? The Jets wouldn't do better than that. 27-6. Jets 3-game winning streak snapped. Can you believe that team won 3 in a row? That's how good that defense is.
I cannot.
Man. Chargers have gotten it to 4-4. They're just a game out of the playoffs. Do not rule out Mark's LA Chargers. All right? Don't. I'm not kidding. They could sneak in as the 7 seed, and they're just dangerous enough. Just when you least expect stuff from them, they might actually produce something. They're a game behind the AFC North there. Because right now, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Cincinnati are the 3 wild cards in that order in the AFC. For the Chargers, they host the Lions next. Lions coming off their bye. For the Jets, they go to the Raiders. That's actually Sunday Night Football. Zach Wilson in prime time again. Can't Congress intervene? I mean, honestly, I know these guys can't agree on anything, but can't they agree on that? I mean, it's not like they're working or anything. So, I mean, we know they're spending their free time watching football.
An Iowa-like over-under for that game, 36.5, as the Jets are a 2-point favorite over the Raiders.
And who'd have thought that the Raiders, with Aiden O'Connell making his second start, would have the best quarterback in the game? Chargers had 8 sacks. Eckler with 2 touchdowns. Some other NFL news. Kyler Murray's going to start unless there are any setbacks this week. And he practiced last week and had no setbacks. Unless Kyler Murray has a setback this week, he's starting for Arizona against Atlanta. Mark, they are acting like they do not want the first overall pick in the draft. That team is playing hard. Murray's coming back a couple weeks early because it was December when he tore up his knees. So it's 11 months instead of 12 for him coming back. Meanwhile, the worst fears came true for the Giants and Daniel Jones, and for the Vikings and running back Cam Akers. Jones with the ACL tear. Akers, second torn Achilles in his career. He's now torn both of them. That's tough. Bengals wide receiver Jamar Chase. The Bengals already saying out loud, not sure he's going to be able to play Sunday against the Texans. Apparently suffered a back injury in the win against the Bills. And, hey, this is a shocker. The Vikings are going to make Josh Dobbs their starting quarterback. I mean, hell, look what he did when he didn't know who the players were and didn't know the plays. I mean, a week later, hell, he might be Dan Marino out there on Sunday, actually knowing some of the guys' names and some of the plays. And Taylor Heineke is going to start another game for Atlanta, and then they enter the bye week and they're going to figure out who their quarterback is. They actually said that out loud. Unbelievable. Major League Baseball. So David Ross woke up yesterday as the manager of the Cubs. He still had a year left on his contract, and he had an option year. And it was just 5 weeks earlier that the owner of the Cubs had said, oh, he's our guy. He ain't their guy anymore. Craig Counsell surprised everybody. See, Counsell wanted to reset the market for managers. He was a big union guy in his playing days. He's big on, and major league managers for 20 years now have been paid less and less and less. Joe Torre made $8 million 20 years ago. I think the highest paid manager nowadays was like Terry Francona. And so Counsell wants to reset the managers market. That's why everybody thought, well, hell, he's going to the Mets. Yeah, the problem is his life's in Wisconsin. Kids and school and what have you. So he obviously called up the Cubs and said, is David Ross really your guy? And they said, why? He said, because you pay me $8 million a year. I could be your guy. Really? So 5 years, $40 million for Craig Counsell. He's the new manager of the Cubs. Boy, staying in the division. I think Brewers fans would have been okay him taking the money going to the Mets. Going to the Cubs? I don't know.
Yeah, they don't like the Cubs there.
No.
At all.
You know, Mark, that whole Milwaukee-Chicago thing, that's like an hour.
Right.
Yeah. You know, they're in the same divisions in other sports. You know, Bucks and Bulls, Packers and Bears.
Did you really start Bucks and Bulls?
Well, I mean, the one team is in Chicago, the other is in Milwaukee.
I understand.
I wanted to finish with the big one. I wanted the boom. The Mets then, who wanted Counsell, they're hiring 43-year-old Yankees Ben coach Carlos Mendoza. He managed 2 years in the minors about a decade ago. Well, I mean, you know, it's the Mets' job. I mean, they're such a fine organization. I mean, it's not like any media attention involving that team. So, all right, we'll see how he does. We'll say he's the same age getting that job as Craig Counsell was when he got the Brewers job. That worked out okay. 7 players were given the qualifying offer, Mark. They're all going to turn it down, but it means their team's going to get some kind of compensation. I mean, you think Ohtani's going to accept the qualifying offer of a little over $20 million a year?
No, I don't.
Now, if it was $20 million between now and Christmas, I think he might accept it. But college basketball, 2 major upsets yesterday. 4th-ranked Michigan State. Tom Izzo saying before the game, I'm going to play the freshmen. If they're whoever's playing the best, I'm playing. Well, okay. James Madison, meanwhile, good team. Tough opener. Michigan State lost in overtime to James Madison, 79-76. Canes beat NJIT by 41. JU, UCF, Stetson, North Florida, and the Gators all victorious. FIU lost to UCF, and Bethune were the in-state schools who lost. The other major upset on the women's side, number 1 LSU, got beat by Colorado by 14, 92-78. Now, Colorado is a top 25 team, but still, Kim Mulkey and the gang realizing that this year ain't last year. NBA, see, the Mavs hit 15 threes, and the Magic only hit 8. And because of it, Dallas beat Orlando by 15. But the game of the night, LeBron with 30. But how about Bam Adebayo? Aren't many 2020 triple-doubles. 22 points, 20 rebounds, 10 assists for the big fella. 8 by 1 over the Lakers, 108-107. Hey, James Harden finally played a game this year. Played it for the Clippers. 31 minutes, scored 17 points. They got beat by the Knicks. And Celtics suffered their first loss. T-Wolves beat them in overtime, 114-109. Lightning lost in OT. They blew a 4-1 lead in Toronto.
Can't do that.
Kucherov, 2 goals, 2 assists in the 6-5 OT loss. Meanwhile, Panthers tied it with under a minute to play, and then Carter Verhaeghe won it in OT against Columbus, 5-4. Bruins beat Dallas 3-2. That could be a Stanley Cup final. Bruins are 10-1-1 to start the year. And Mark, the Vancouver Canucks are 9-2-1. And the Edmonton Oilers, who a lot of people were picking to go to the finals, they're 2-8-1. Vancouver beat them 6-2. College football playoff rankings come out tonight. Ohio State struggled with Rutgers. Georgia struggled with Missouri. We'll see who's ranked where.
Who do you think's ranked one? I think Georgia will be one this week.
I think Ohio State will be one.
Okay.
You asked me.
No. I said okay. You had a little difference of opinion. That's all.
And the Big Ten formally let Michigan know they could face discipline. They sent them a letter. It wasn't a threatening letter. It was just a notice saying, hey, you may be in violation of our sportsmanship policy. And that means double secret probation. And yeah. And Michigan, meanwhile, has said, we're going to sue everyone and everything if you try to do anything to us or Jim Harbaugh. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That is the ultimate. I'm taking my ball and going home.
Yep.
You threaten to discipline us, we're suing you.
Yep.
We'll trump your discipline with a lawsuit.
Yeah. Okay, we'll show you sportsmanship. We sure will. In a court of law.
Because we are adhering to a gold standard of compliance here at the University of Michigan.
You know, those words could come back to haunt them.
You think?
And at 7 minutes before the hour, that was
the Starting Five every weekday morning at this time on Miller and Moulton.
So there you go. How about them apples? That's what took place in sports yesterday. And if I missed anything, well, that's what Twitter's for.
Exactly. David Samson is next on Miller and Moulton, right here on the Florida Sports Network.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to make sure you're shopping with the best. And the best when it comes to GIA certified diamonds and diamond jewelry is not online. It's not in the malls. And it's not with any of the new pop-up jewelry stores trying to make a go of it here in Southwest Florida. The best place to buy diamonds is with my friends Jason and Todd at the Diamond District, who have made Southwest Florida their home for over 20 years now. The largest selection of GIA certified diamonds is with the Diamond District. The only place you'll find diamonds 8 to 10% over cost is with the Diamond District. America's top bridal designers have chosen the Diamond District to represent their engagement rings exclusively in Southwest Florida. Simply put, the best selection, experience, and best prices are with Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Good morning, David.
Good morning. How are you?
Excellent. Yourself?
Great. Thank you.
Are you back at the home studio now?
In the city, actually.
Yeah.
On my way to California.
Oh, flying out today?
Yes. I'm hoping my meeting gets canceled. Because the last thing I want to do is go to California today. Literally. Almost literally.
Haven't these people ever heard of Zoom?
Yeah, this is a non-Zoom one. I mean, different time, different week, I'd be good. It's just been a rough stretch, so I'd prefer not to go, but it is what it is. There are worse things.
Yeah. Well, good luck.
You guys good?
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't know how far I am from you. I'm in Lower Manhattan.
I'm in Upper East Side.
Okay.
What a shitty game.
Yes. Yes.
There's too many of them.
Yes, there are.
No one talks about it enough because the numbers people don't care apparently.
Well, people, because the 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock numbers will never change because you're watching your team. So those windows are huge. The 4:30 window is a monster regardless because they've built it. But I mean, this week you've got Chicago and Carolina on Thursday night. That's an unwatchable football game.
Yet they'll outwatch the World Series.
Right. Then you get the Patriots and the Colts Sunday morning in its slot all alone. Another unwatchable football game. The Raiders and the Jets Sunday night.
Wow.
And they'll all do 15 million people. It's ridiculous.
It's a juggernaut.
It really is.
It's why in baseball we have meetings all day, every day, just being angry about the NFL. Literally. Second literally of the morning, and both are true.
Did you read the article in the Post yesterday by Marchand in which he tried to say, listen, there's a lot of good news in baseball. Okay, everybody's going crazy because the World Series numbers are down. He said, first off, Game 5 drew nearly 12 million. He goes, if this series had gone even one more game, it wouldn't have been the lowest rated. It probably would have averaged over 10 million. Okay, he said, and besides, it was Texas and Arizona. Give me a break. And then he went through all the other things that he feels that baseball has going for them. So
he's a good spokesperson sometimes for baseball.
He thinks they're going to come out of this Bally's thing much stronger. He just thinks it's going to take 2-3 years.
It's a good conversation to have because the NBA is going to have to do it too.
Yep. Right. We talked about that too. NBA and NHL. And I know the NHL's far lower revenue wise. They get far less of their revenue from their TV deals. But, in the
what
States,
the NBA is doing, they're taking all their rights back. It's what MLB would dream to do. And what MLB's trying. Oh, sorry.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
And at this day and time, it means David Samson. He of the daily podcast, Nothing Personal with David Samson, which he will record 59 minutes from now. CBS Sports. Follow him on Twix. David, the letter P. Samson. David P. Samson. You also hear him at least once a week, if not regularly, because they seem to call him all the damn time on the Levitard show. Good morning. How are you?
I should have done an appearance fee with them instead of a flat fee.
Yes.
Where were you when I was negotiating that contract?
Well, I was negotiating the robust deal you have with us. That's the problem. Okay. That's
You can only do one thing at a time. I get it.
Hey, did you ever mean it when you called up another owner or GM and offered them congratulations for winning the World Series? Like, were you ever happy for the Texas Rangers of the world or not really?
Trying to think if there were ever a time that I was actually happy. I had one recently. I texted Derek Hall when he won the pennant, the president of the Diamondbacks this past year. And I was really happy for him. The story of his GM who lost his wife, his story as a survivor of cancer. And he is a good guy who I've known for a very, very long time. And I was genuinely happy for Derek Hall. But I'm trying to think of any other time, and it's escaping me at the moment.
And I know the answer is probably just money, David. But if you were running a team right now and you wanted Ohtani, how would you go about? How would you start the conversation with your owner? How would this go to try to land the biggest free agent that's been out there in, I don't know, ever?
So it wouldn't be the owner because the owner knows that Ohtani's going to help your team. I would probably call in my relationship with Ichiro, and I would call Ichiro and ask him what is the best way to show the most respect to Shohei Ohtani. What is it? Is it a video? Is it welcoming him? Is it showing him where he would live? Is it allowing him to understand the design of the clubhouse and where workout machines are, what the timing is? You tell me, Ichiro, what would be the best way for him to know that, hey, we've dealt with the number one Japanese superstar. There's no one who will ever be a greater superstar than Ichiro, even Shohei. But the question is, will Ichiro teach me how to make my best effort to get Shohei to sign? So I would call on my relationship with Ichiro.
Free agency began yesterday, yet the feeling in the sport is nothing's going to happen till the winter meetings, which are a month from now. But technically, I could sign Ohtani today, right? I mean, couldn't I literally send he and his agent 9 years, $500 million? You've got till Thanksgiving.
You could have also done that last week and the week before and the week before and just done it quietly. If there were a team that was ready to pounce like that, or there was Shohei ready to make a decision like that. He's been looking forward to this for a long time, and he's going to make sure that he gets the official pitches, if you will, from every team. But the complicated part is really because he's not pitching next year. That means that his free agency is going to be a little more delayed than I would have thought, because he wants to be paid as though he's a two-way player the entire contract. Teams know that it's unlikely he'll be a two-way player for 9 years at this level, but he wants to be paid like it. But what they know for sure is he's not a two-way player in 2024. So what kind of opt-outs are we going to see? What kind of incentives are we going to see? Those take some time to iron out with each team. It's the guarantee language that takes the most time to negotiate with the free agent.
Wait, so you mean the Miller and Moulton bar napkin that says 9 years, $500 million, fully guaranteed? Because that's what our bar napkin says, David.
So I've never seen a deal on a napkin. I've seen a stadium built on a napkin, but I've never seen an actual deal done. You can certainly make an interesting offer to Shohei's agency and do it and risk right 9,500, and you'll likely get a callback. But it certainly is a long way from that to signing.
Wait a minute. You did the Marlins Stadium on a napkin?
So the thought was, and the rumor was, and it's actually inside a book, that Jeffrey Loria designed Marlins Park in France with the chief architect, a guy named Earl Santee, and they designed it on an actual napkin. True story. And they still have the napkin. And it looks almost like it. It's a little nugget that we don't talk about much.
That's outstanding.
Was the bus part of the napkin deal? That's it. You got to go back a couple years ago with us. That was a hell of a story. We'll tell it again. All right. Listen, the guy who just got the Guardians job yesterday, he played in the majors in 2022, for goodness sake. Mendoza just got the Mets job. He managed 2 years in the minors. He hasn't managed in 12 years. Did anybody not pay attention to, Bruce Bochy, Dusty Baker? Managerial experience actually, I don't know, valuable? No?
It's interesting because the Padres have tried a bunch of first-time managers and it hasn't worked at all with their clubhouse. And with Bochy and Baker, there was a thought that owners were going to be like copycats and they were going to go with the older experienced managers, maybe even giving Madden and Showalter another chance. And I'm not saying that Steven can't manage, and I'm not saying Antonetti doesn't know what he's doing, because he does. They have a great front office. That said, I think that what happened with Craig Counsell is a far more interesting story to me yesterday, and it's going to be a huge focus of Nothing Personal this morning, because what the Cubs did with Craig Counsell and the amount of money they gave him, I'm wondering whether Craig Counsell will become the Deshaun Watson of managers. And I don't mean what he did off the field. Please do not. I'm not mistaking that or comparing that. I'm talking about the $230 million guarantee that Watson got became a ceiling. It didn't become the entry point for quarterbacks to make that money. It became the ceiling of guaranteed money. And I'm wondering whether Craig Counsell's $8 million, will become the ceiling for managers, because the Cubs blew by the highest paid manager, who was at $4.5 million, and went right to $8 million, which is something other owners did not want to do and likely will never do.
So this won't reset any market for managers. This is just an outlier.
That's certainly, we're going to see what happens. It's quite a way to see, but my view is that no one will pass the $8 million for a very, very long time, because managers' roles have changed. And it is GMs that are at the forefront, and it is front offices that are doing more of the work these days. And so that's sort of reverse that they're going back to, where managers are making more than GMs. We're not at that point. We used to be, but we're not there now. And that's what Craig Counsell is doing. And he's trying to lift all managers' salaries, to make all managers make more, be more important. But I think Ricketts went too far, especially the way he did it is not going to be thought well of inside the sport.
First off, did David Ross need to be replaced?
Well, certainly not according to Hoyer and Ricketts. Now, I understand if you think you can do better, no matter what you've said publicly, do better. If you think Craig Counsell is better than David Ross, by all means, fire David Ross and hire Craig Counsell. I'm in on always being better. But it doesn't mean that you have to answer Craig's request for being the record market setter of managers. There was no reason to do that. If Craig wanted to be in his division, he wanted to be close to his home in Milwaukee, whatever the reasons were, Ricketts being the only manager. And was that all Craig cared about? Is that why he was interviewing with the Guardians and the Mets, just waiting for the $8 million number? Is that what we're to think of Craig Counsell? And if that's true, is that the type of manager you want? And I don't think Craig did that. I really hope he didn't, because he's such a good guy who I've known forever as a Milwaukee person, as a Marlin. But what the actions of the last couple of weeks were unfortunate. And Mark Ananazio called him out, which you don't see too often on the record. Called him out yesterday by saying, hey, we didn't lose Craig Counsell today. He lost us.
Counsell getting $8 million a year for 5 years, fully guaranteed to be the new manager of the Cubs. But what do you think about Stephen Vogt? This is a journeyman player at best. Okay, literally played in the majors in 2022. Obviously has no managerial experience, but apparently, he's one of those guys that announcers would say, he'd make a good manager one day. Yeah, well, they gave him the job today.
So it's definitely upsetting to those who are working their way up and becoming, managers, bench coaches all throughout the minor leagues and trying to be organizational men. However, I've hired first-time managers. Joe Girardi was a first-time manager, had never managed before, was a recent player when we hired him in 2006. And what you're hoping for when you do that is that they have a connection to the clubhouse and a respect for the front office and are able to manage up and manage down in a way that will try to lessen the chasm that exists between those two entities. And you also want to believe that a young player which is what he is, a young manager, will understand the importance of the front office and will not argue with the front office because he'll be so happy to be there. What you're doing, though, is you're bringing in someone who by definition will be a player manager because he is so close to being a player. He understands what it is to be a player. It's sort of the anti-Francona in terms of age, but Terry Francona was a guru, the best manager in the game, and that's a lot of pressure for Steven to have. So it's an interesting hire, to say the least.
You know, you had a phrase, manage up. Not just manage now, but manage up. That seems to me impossible in today's baseball. How do you manage up when you're dictated what the lineup is? You're obviously the pay scale we just talked about, so you don't have the gravitas of saying, I'm getting paid more than the GM, I'm worth more. How do you manage up as a first-time manager, David?
It's tough. So managing up means that you are communicating with your general manager and with your team president and with your owner, and that you are doing it in a way that the players don't think that you're a mole for the front office, because they don't like moles inside the clubhouse, whether it's in the form of a player, a trainer, a coach, or a manager. So managing up, it's in every business. You have to manage your boss as much as you have to manage your people, because you are trying to accomplish something. And in a manager's case, you think you know more. So you're trying to get the GM and the president to buy into your quote unquote philosophies, but they're trying to get you to do what they know analytically you ought to be doing. And so that's sort of learning to work together in that way is how a new relationship starts and how one can go bad quickly.
All right, 10, 15 seconds. So the Marlins owner said, I want to be the Rays. And so they hired the GM of the Rays to run their operations. Makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, I've wanted to be the Rays forever. I just didn't think that hiring someone is what makes you the Rays. It's actually having the discipline to make certain decisions and sticking with them. That's what makes the Rays the Rays. But to the extent that having someone like Peter in as your GM, if that's the first step toward being the Rays, then it's a good hire for the Marlins. But the next part's the hardest. You actually have to act like the Rays.
He's David Samson. He records Nothing Personal with David Samson at 8 a.m. weekdays live. Check it out. It's always entertaining and informative. Follow him on Twix, Twitter/X at David, the letter P Samson, David P Samson. Safe travels after your podcast. We'll talk next week.
Have a great week. Bye-bye.
David Samson joining us once again here on Miller and Moulton.
Back with more in a moment on the Florida Sports Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again.
Hi. Excuse me.
Hey, the line starts back here. Ma'am, if your party's not here, you're going to have to go around again.
If you had the opportunity to avoid all this, wouldn't you?
Salt Live is the official transportation provider of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show, making your trip to and from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Live is supported with the help of local partners like the Bayfront Inn. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone on 5th Avenue in downtown Naples. BayfrontInNaples.com. When you need a ride, book with Salt Live Transportation, 308-8686, or book on saltlivetransportation.com.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
So, Mark, do you want me to join the StreamYard now or wait until...
Do it now.
Okay.
Then I can get it up. And then just on StreamYard, mute your microphone.
Okay.
It's funny, DC. So as DC says, are you managing up in these production meetings, David?
I'm not managing. I'm commenting up. I'm editorializing up. There he is.
What's going on? Assuming you were talking about me. I don't know.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, Mark was like, hey, by the way, I'm sending you a StreamYard link every single day that you're not using. It's like, all right.
Trent's like, listen, I'm just trying to get in the door. I'm trying to get on the computer. Want me to do StreamYard?
I'll tell you who's really happy this morning is Felipe,
Felipe.
because he didn't have to wake up at...
It's the first morning he didn't have to roll
5:30.
over and click on us on a computer.
God, man. What a good dude.
I can't believe that. What
Should I just call him at 5:40 tomorrow morning? Just go, hey, you miss us? No?
Just check it in.
Hey, pass the phone to your girlfriend. I want to say hi. No?
Let's wait till Thursday when he has the day off to do it.
There you go.
By the way, whatever I'm doing to grab these play of the day, the audio is always low. So I'm going to have to figure out how to boost that. So it might be off today again, but I'm just going to put it as high
You
as
just
it
put it
goes
up.
and then-
The only thing I would say is that you can. Are you putting it into a
Audition?
Yeah.
And no, but that's what I'll start doing.
Probably have to
because
put it
then I
into
can boost
Audition,
it
then
up.
you can amplify it that way.
Yes, we'll do. Giving you a heads up, it's probably going to sound quiet again.
Johnny Finger Lakes, you look different than Miller and Moulton. Yeah, young and skinny.
Young and skinny. Hate him.
This is why these guys chastise me.
No, we're just trying to give you an education on life and the pursuit of happiness. We only have you in our class for a short period of time.
And David, he may have found an apartment yesterday. Wait for it. In Naples.
Naples.
Oh my God. I'm getting the shakes.
I'm just looking for whatever's cheapest, and everything around here is a crapshoot. So
Wait, you said cheapest in Naples.
In Naples was the
That's-
cheapest one he's found so
that's
far.
what I'm saying.
Well, remember, Casio had that hell of a deal for years. He kept offering to buy the place, and they were like, no, we're good.
10 seconds, David.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Another historic moment on Miller and Moulton in our 17th year, our third act. We're on producer number 9. And if you're watching us, twitch.tv/Miller and Moulton, you get to see Trent Bally. He's young. He's skinny. He's in shape. his clothes match everything that Miller and Moulton are not.
My clothes match. I'm wearing black Nike shorts and a
Yeah,
t-shirt.
what's on camera matches. You got your Lions hat on. And
You got to go with it, first off. Secondly, yeah, when we take the shot of you, it's like you're a local TV anchor. We only see you really from above the navel. It doesn't matter what you're wearing below.
As long as you're wearing something.
Right. And you know what? In local TV news, you barely have to be doing that. Well, at least back in the day. Now, HR is a problem. Before, HR was a rumor. It was a door that was always closed. We never knew if somebody actually occupied it or not. Now, apparently, they take this stuff seriously. Whatever. Pat Kirwan, he'll join us coming up in 40 minutes. He takes the NFL seriously. Do you think, and we didn't ask David Samson this, if he had to hire a manager today, because he's done both. He's hired the experienced guy. He hired Jeff Torborg, fired him for Jack McKeon, but then he gave Joe Girardi his first job, about 6 hours after he was done playing. So he's done both. Do you think today, if David Samson was running a team, he'd go first-time manager, or do you think he'd go find a veteran?
First-time manager, pay him cheap and tell him what to do. That's what baseball is right now. Even though the teams that were the last two playing were the opposite. Well, that's not true. You had one who was totally told what to do and one that wasn't.
And the guy who was told what to do, he just got a contract extension, Torey Lovello. Listen, you take the Arizona Diamondbacks to the World Series, you deserve a contract.
Damn right.
So, you're probably right. I hate it when I think I ask a really solid question and in 5 seconds you answer it emphatically in such a way like, listen, you dumbass. Okay? Of course, the answer is this.
Well, I think he answered it by the way he talked about Council's deal. Without asking him that question, I think he kind of answered it by saying there's no way that's resetting the market. There's no way he's bringing up the salaries of all the other managers because the baseball manager, David, has become the NFL running back.
Yes. That's good. I like it. Keep going. You're right. And now, you know what? Craig Counsell became Jonathan Taylor. All of a sudden, the Colts out of nowhere, after saying, we're not paying you. And then they paid him $14 a year for 3 years, fully guaranteed. At least two of them are. Yeah, that's true. How about the Brewers owner? Say, I told you the whole leave him for the Cubs thing. Can't leave Milwaukee for Chicago. I mean, honestly, of all the cities, you can leave for Minneapolis. You can leave for New York. You can leave for just about anywhere. You can't leave for Chicago.
Not from Milwaukee.
No. It's an hour. Okay? They're rivals in everything. And let's face it, Chicago's, to Milwaukee, Chicago's the big city. That's, your little brother if you're Milwaukee.
And then some.
Right. You might be first cousin. And so now, that hurts. I mean, not as much as it hurts David Ross. Woke up yesterday. He had a good job.
I was the manager of the Cubs just yesterday.
But not anymore. 3 managerial. So the Cubs hired a manager. We didn't even think they had an opening because they didn't. The Mets then hired a manager, and the Guardians hired a manager. And combined, the 3 guys that they hired have 9 years total managing experience, only 7 in the majors. And that's Craig Counsell has all of the Mendoza. Carlos Mendoza's managing the Mets. He managed 2 years in the minors 12 years ago. And the guy the Guardians hired was a player a year ago.
Now he'll really be taking orders from the front office.
Right.
Before, the orders that he was given were just secondhand from the front office to the manager. Now he's the middleman. He's the one that gets to give all the orders to everyone that aren't his.
I love the stories in which they say, listen, I had a job interview with this guy. He was so impressive. We immediately rescheduled another one. We had to hire this guy. Have you ever been that? And I'm being serious here. We've had a lot of jobs. Okay. And I'm talking about going back to when I worked at Wernick's Pharmacy and I was 16. I mean, I've had a lot of jobs. I don't know if I've ever had a job in which the first time they met me, they're like, oh, we got to hire this guy.
Once. And it was an unpaid job. It was my internship into the professional hockey world. And I showed up, suit and tie, all buttoned up, treating it like it was a job interview, and kept talking about job. And the guy who's interviewing me kept going, it's an internship. And I kept going, it's a job. And how I showed up and, finding out after the fact that basically showing up and treating it that way, he said, he goes, you walked in the room and you were hired.
Huh.
That's the only time it's ever happened. David, it was for an unpaid job. I want that to be reiterated.
And once again, this pretty much sums up Miller and Moulton in a nutshell. Miller and Moulton not making a good first impression.
Trent made a good first impression. We
Boy.
tried desperately to talk him out of coming.
Yes.
Twice.
In fact, he wanted to be hired immediately. And we're like, yeah, we don't operate that way.
Yeah, you guys kept Felipe on the leash for another month.
Yeah. I mean, you seem impressive and all, but we're really not so sure.
Hey, this is the place to be.
Has been said by no one.
There we go. That's the T-shirt. Miller and Moulton, the place to be.
And the time is the play of the day. So Felipe usually did this. Now Trent does it. He is filling the role so well. What do you have for us today? Are you going to East Lansing, Trent?
Of course I am, because what am I if I'm not objective? I am nothing. And if any of my teams are ever worthy of something like this, I will put it in there. Conversely, James Madison takes down number 4 Michigan State last night. Junior Raekwon Horton nailed the dagger in overtime.
Green's got to go. 4 to shoot. Out to Horton. 3. Is good. Raekwon Horton's first points of the night. And a 3.
Brutal audio. Apologize. We'll get better at that. Long story short, Raekwon Horton nails his only bucket of the game. He only took 2 shots, but he knocked down a 3 in overtime to put James Madison up 4 with 8.5 seconds to play. And James Madison spoils Tyson Walker's 35-point performance. Spartans start 0-1. James Madison was a 16.5-point dog. They cover the spread, and the money line cashes at plus 1,000. A lot of happy Dukes fans out there.
Plus 1,000.
Yes.
That's a nice way to start the college basketball season right there.
And that's our play of the day. Trent's going to have to go to class.
Audio class.
Yep.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Yes.
I will admit. It's just awful. I don't
Yes, it was.
By the way,
do it all.
And Trent, I know we're going through some basics here. Radio is an audio medium. Okay.
Note taken.
So, you may just want to keep that in mind next time. Yep. Okay.
And that's our play of the day.
Miller and Moulton, the place to be.
Wow.
Yep.
Sell it, David.
I'm going to let Trent
want to
sell
say
it.
we're coming back with pretender or contender or yes, no, maybe so. I'm so excited.
Oh, my goodness. Throw in a cannoli and you got me.
Miller and Moulton right here on the Florida Sports Network.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, Give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's see.
Yeah. Hi. Excuse me.
Hey, the line starts back here. Ma'am, if your party's not here, you're gonna have to go around and get it.
If you had the opportunity to avoid all this, wouldn't you?
Salt Live is the official transportation provider of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show, making your trip to and from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Live is supported with the help of local partners like the Bayfront Inn. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone on 5th Avenue in downtown Naples. BayfrontInNaples.com. When you need a ride, book with Salt Live Transportation, 308-8686, or book on saltlivetransportation.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
I don't know if you guys saw the end of that Heat Lakers game, but Lakers had a shot to win it. LeBron drove, everything it was like you've seen it a million times, and he kicked it out to a wide open Cam Reddish, and he just bricked the three. Bricked it.
I did not, because I don't have Bally Sports. So one thing about YouTube TV.
Yeah, that stinks. My uncle has it. I won't have it once I get my new apartment here, but
You can steal his.
trying to, yeah.
I've got to go figure out what my mom's passwords are and all that, so I can steal my mother's.
Yeah,
because she doesn't know what anything is. So I've got to go in and figure that all out.
Did watch the Pistons last night too. Decent showing.
They lost by 11.
Yeah, but they were up 5 with like 8 minutes left. They just kind of, I mean, they were missing Duran and Jaden Ivey both didn't play. And the Warriors were full. Steph, Clay, Draymond, everybody. I think at one point, Steph missed 9 shots in a row. They were D'ing him up.
You got anything?
I really don't.
I got something. What are you talking about? LeBron will not be the guy.
Oh, was it on NBA TV?
Yeah, it was. Hey, do you get that?
I don't know.
You don't get the Bally's, do you?
Don't get the Bally's.
So you
don't
have to get it.
NHL,
So you get it through ESPN Plus, right?
but I can't watch the Panthers because they're blacked out. I can watch the Lightning, but not the Panthers.
That's so frustrating. The blackout stuff. I mean, it makes sense why they do it, but it's just frustrating.
No, it doesn't make sense why they do it. No, it makes no. I'm not being a jerk. It's very serious. It makes sense in that 3-county region on the East Coast. It makes no sense in Collier County why you're blacked out. Absolutely not. No,
That's fair. We should get all the Miami stuff over here.
no, no sense at all. There's no way Collier County should be considered a local market to anything in Miami and Fort Lauderdale.
Coming back.
No.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
"22 minutes before the top of the hour, Pat Kirwan will join us at that time to talk all things NFL. We'll spend very little time on Monday Night Football. Whoo-wee. Man, outside of how good the Chargers look in their unis, that was rough. Chargers won, and they didn't have 190 yards offense. And they won convincingly, easily. 27-6 over the Jets. Did you see the unders went like, the under was the play this week in the NFL. However many games there were, like all but 3 were under. I don't think that's what the league and fantasy owners had in mind.
You know, I was in a fantasy league, and I'm not in it anymore, where it was basically a suicide fantasy league. You got to use every player once. And it was never a question of finding this. At that time, there were 16 games, now 17. Finding 17 quarterbacks. And I still have friends that are doing that. And I was thinking about that league going, it's not as easy just to get to the starting quarterbacks anymore. What we thought was some of these guys we thought were surefire, can't miss prospects. I mean, the quarterbacking, we talk about it in college. Quarterbacking play in the NFL is not great right now. There's great quarterbacks. The quarterback play is not great.
Hey, Justin Herbert got above 500 last night for his career. Big win for Herbert. He's now 29-28 as the starting quarterback. Some people don't believe winning and losing is a quarterback stat. Other people do. Like Trey Wingo. Remember him? One of his, I think if you follow him on Twix there, I think underneath his profile picture, and he lives in Hawaii. It's a beautiful photo. He says, okay, winning and losing is not a quarterback stat. Okay. Hey, can we go off the NFL for a second?
Must.
Talk about this sign stealing story.
Oh, okay.
8:00 last night, Associated Press, a former employee at a Big Ten football program said Monday it was his job to steal signs, and he was given details from multiple conference schools before his team played Michigan to compile a spreadsheet of play calling signals used by the Wolverines last year. He spoke on the condition of anonymity because he doesn't want it to affect his career. Get this. After they played Michigan, he then sent Jim Harbaugh and Michigan the information that he had. He passed along the information, to Michigan and now to the Big Ten to show everybody that there was proof that other conference teams were colluding to steal signs from the Wolverines. Left unsaid in this story is basically everybody knew Michigan was stealing signs. So some of the schools got together to collude to steal Michigan signs. Now, no proof they didn't go to the games and take photos and what have you. However they did it, they did it.
And there's a lot of talk. There's another article Pat Forty has written that talks about you coach for Northwestern. I coach for Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
You played Michigan. We're buddies.
Right.
You got anything for me?
Oh, yeah. Happens all the time.
All the time.
All the time. In all sports, by the way. All sports. Certainly happens in basketball. All the time. Sure. What do you need? What do you need to know? Let me tell you, that 13, you haven't seen him play? Really good. Got to guard him all over the court.
So we are going to get the narrative coming out of Michigan people now that, see, they were doing it to us as well. They were colluding. They were sending information to other teams. Now what?
Remember, the NCAA doesn't outlaw sign stealing. It has rules against in-person scouting and using electronic equipment to steal signs. Okay? And the former Big Ten assistant who's providing this information anonymously to the AP said, okay, yeah, I don't think any of us got the information the way Michigan got theirs. But he acknowledged, he goes, yeah, we knew Michigan was doing something, and we started to conspire against Michigan. Now, if you're Tony Petitti, you're the Big Ten commissioner, and if you're the NCAA and you're going to rule on this before the decade is out, all right, does this matter? Because also technically, Mark, the colluding is not against the rules.
No. The only thing that's against the rules is sending someone to pre-scout.
And videotaping it.
Yes.
In person, yes. Mm-hmm. What Michigan did is against the rules.
There's no two ways about it.
Right. And sometime between now and the end of the decade, they will be punished. Most people believe Tony Petitti is going to hit Harbaugh with a 2-game suspension, fine him for $10,000. And the only question is, will that suspension be next week? And so this way he doesn't coach the Ohio State game? Or is that suspension going to be announced Thursday? And he doesn't coach against Penn State? And who are they playing? Maryland?
Maryland.
And then he coaches against Ohio State. No,
Michigan has threatened to sue everybody
yes.
in the world.
Yes.
If there is any discipline handed down against them.
Some of the Michigan players spoke yesterday, and they're like, listen, you want to make us the villains, make us the villains. Fine, we're fine with that.
Yeah, we'll see. And maybe for 3-4 games they can get away with it. But LeBron thought he could embrace being the villain. He hated it.
Hated it.
Hated it.
Hated it. Has desperately been trying to wear the white hat since.
This isn't wrestling.
Speaking of which, you see who visited Jim Harbaugh yesterday? His good friend, Ric Flair. And then Ric Flair told everybody what a great guy Jim Harbaugh is. Proud to call him my friend. Say whatever you want about him. You're wrong. There you go. And then he went, woo!
Well, if Ric Flair is vouching for you.
All I know is that could be awkward for Ric Flair because he lives in dog country. He lives about 30, 40 minutes, I think, from Athens. I mean, that could be an awkward championship game.
And for Michigan to embrace taking the villain role, that's spectacular. Because this is the part of the movie where the villain's kicking everybody's ass.
Yep.
We haven't even identified the superhero yet. It's Ohio State. See, the first part of this thrilling movie is you're going to get to the first good guy. That's Penn State. And you're going to kick their butt, too.
You surprised the number is only 5.5? Isn't it 5.5? Michigan on the road? Isn't it less than a touchdown?
I think you're right. And I have not looked at the line yet this morning. So
I'm surprised it's that low.
4.5 is what I've got it at right now.
Wow. What am I missing there?
24-20, they're telling us Michigan. I mean, that's basically what they're saying.
Can I take that right now? Can I take Michigan in 4.5 right now before that moves? Seriously? Come on now. All right.
We've all seen the superhero movie where the first, the villain takes on the first kind of good guy. And then they beat that good guy to get the build up to the end. And Ohio State's going to be wearing the white hat. What the hell is going on?
Is Michigan wearing the black hat when Hogan went to the dark side? First off, let's get this straight. So Michigan's going to play Ohio State, and Big Ten fans are going to be rooting for Ohio State. I can't believe I just said that. All right. And so then let's just say Michigan just keeps on keeping on, and they get to the national playoffs. And let me get this straight. Michigan's eventually going to end up playing either Georgia or Alabama, and people around the country are going to be rooting for, wait for it, the SEC school? Seriously? Holy blank, is this messed up. Wow. Well, why are we rooting for the SEC school? Well, because Michigan's a bunch of cheaters. Then you're going to have people looking at their friends going, over the SEC school? Yeah, well, they're illegally stealing signs. Yeah, we've been illegally paying for players for 40 years. Yeah, but you're allowed to do that now. Oh, okay.
Strange times, David.
Yep. Meanwhile, SMU is about to join the ACC going, man, what the heck's everybody making a big deal about, for goodness sakes? Either that or give them the death penalty. So we've got, apparently, Michigan's been cheating for 3 years, at least up until recently. Now they're not cheating anymore. They just have all the information that they got from cheating, and everybody has to change it the way they go about doing business. And the other schools got upset about Michigan cheating, found out about it, and so they conspired to pass all their information along together.
They became one huge coaching staff is what they did, David.
Right. Obviously, Michigan either had better information or better players, because how many Big Ten games have they lost while all this has been going on? In last 3 seasons, haven't they lost one? Yeah. So, but anyway, this is fun. And Michigan is looking right at the Big Ten saying, listen, if you punish us, okay, not only are we going to sue, we're going to bring all this to light too. Okay. We're going to make the SEC, okay, look like a church picnic. Okay. You want to do that?
I really think, and 21,000's the text line. SEC fan, can you talk to us? Do you hate Michigan more? Do you respect Michigan more?
That's a great poll question.
I mean, that's what I want to find out from SEC fan. Do you hate Michigan more or respect them more based on what they've done these last 2.5 years? They've actually taken their football program seriously in a lot of people's eyes for the first time ever in the South.
I'm going to go back to that Vols blog posting back in December of last year and January of this year, in which the Vols fan concluded, quote, well, Michigan's finally taken this to the next level. Okay. Kind of like, it's about time you're getting serious about this. This is college football. This is what you got to do. Okay. Wow. You guys are finally serious about winning a national championship. Good to see. All right. Welcome to the party. Oh, we'll let you in the front door now. You were never good looking enough to get by. Now you're good looking enough. Here you go. You can get in. Bring your friend too while you're at it. Yeah. Have fun.
By the way, just quickly, how much longer before we put the speaker and the helmets to eliminate all of this?
The offensive coaches are all against it. That's the reason it's not happening. Okay, because the hurry up, the believe it or not, see, the quarterback would know the plays, but the rest of the players wouldn't. When they do the signs and the signals, everybody looks over.
Okay.
Okay, and so it would slow the game, and the offensive coaches are against it. And everybody who's getting hired, they're all offensive, no huddle, up-tempo guys.
You know who'd be for it is the networks.
The networks would pay for it. They would. And by the way, if you're Tony Petitti, whatever you're going to do, whether it's nothing or something, if you're Tony Petitti, shouldn't you just come out and say, by the way, beginning next year, we're going to have the microphones and the helmets. I'm going to end this once and for all. I will say, I think it looks stupid, the big sheets that they're holding up on the sidelines to block things, and then the 8 different signs that are held up and what have you. I mean, dude, what is this? Is this a protest? Is this a rally? Or are we trying to say,
or are we playing Pictionary?
3rd and 2. Yeah, I mean, the NFL gets a lot of things wrong, but the helmet, the microphone and the helmet by both offense and defense, that seems like it makes sense. I don't know. They seem to be doing fine. And they're still trying to cheat, get each other's signs.
So that's the latest with what's going on in Ann Arbor. It'll be a couple of days before the Big Ten makes any ruling at all.
Right,
Thursday. They've got to sit out 48 hours to let Michigan have their rebuttal.
Yeah, the sportsmanship policy guidelines, apparently, 48 hours. That's after you get a letter, an official warning.
Yeah. Hi. Excuse me.
Hey, the line starts back here. Ma'am, if your party's not here, you're going to have to go around again.
If you had the opportunity to avoid all this, wouldn't you?
Salt Live is the official transportation provider of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show, making your trip to and from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Live is supported with the help of local partners like the Bayfront Inn. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone on 5th Avenue in downtown Naples. BayfrontInNaples.com. When you need a ride, book with Salt Live Transportation, 308-8686, or book on saltlivetransportation.com.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Worth.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Good morning, fellas.
I challenge you to do the first hour of your show today on last night's game.
Well, I like provoking Jet fans.
Okay. And God knows
Well,
they'll call. Mike in
they-
New York will call right away.
He called last night and said, I'm not going to the game. I'm going to sit home and watch it. He'll be the first one today. Well, you know, I didn't take the Jets, so there was a lot of people mad at me. I'm going to be enjoying the day, as a matter of fact. Why would you take the Jets? Well, then again, why would you ever take the Chargers? Although they're kind of crawling right into this race.
That's why you take the Chargers.
That's right. They're charging. Come on, Mark.
That team's got 7 seed written all over them.
Yep. And they also have a dangerous quarterback. So, oh, it's great.
He's a little overrated. He is.
You know what I say? He's a little undisciplined, and they're letting him get away with it. He needs a real guy coaching him.
Yeah, he does. He misses some throws that
He's
he should not
sloppy.
miss. Yes. Yes.
And I really, if I was firing that head coach, I'd hire another defensive guy, but I like Schwartz, but I would be bringing in a real quarterback coach who's going to be no nonsense with him. He's too talented to let him be looking like this. But anyway,
Is that a him
Michigan.
problem, Pat? Is he someone that, you know, I don't know who the guy to compare him is, but does he think he's the best quarterback in the room? Is that why he's a little
No,
undisciplined? Or
my experience with him multiple times, he's got no ego. He's a good guy and he's wants to be coached, but I think they kind of just thought, well, he's it, you know, and let him roll. And he's kind of sloppy. Who would I think he's like in past days? That talented. Because he's got it all. He's big, fast, ridiculous arm. Who would I?
How about an athletic Jay Cutler?
Well, I won't say that. Jay Cutler was a jackass.
I understand, but
I didn't
in
want to
terms
be
of
coached.
but the physical attributes, you know, Jay.
Yeah, I think this guy's even a better thrower than him. But Jay, I'll never forget Jay's most famous quote to me. Why do they want me to be a leader too? I just want to play quarterback.
Yeah.
That's all I needed to hear. I mean, that's not as bad as my favorite thing in life is tennis. Which I
Oh
like
yeah,
to
Josh
play.
Rosen, right?
Josh Rosen. But that guy, his teammates didn't really like him. They loved this kid. I don't know. I got to figure out who he reminds me of. But I hear you on the talent, but Jay just had so many issues.
How about Dante Culpepper before he got hurt?
Too dumb. Like, no offense to him, but we all found out what he didn't know about football when Randy Moss left. He couldn't lob it up to Randy.
Yeah, he did. He got hurt though, right around the same time that Moss was leaving. But yeah,
He never really had to read coverage. He threw to Randy in double coverage, and he had the other guy on the other side. But
yeah. His first couple of years, he had Chris Carter on the left.
Coming back.
But it's a good question. I'll have an answer by Friday. Can you give me a few days?
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
It is the 8 o'clock hour on a Tuesday, and just like that, that means Pat Kirwan. He of NFL Radio is moving the chains 3 to 7 weekdays, 2 to 5 on Saturdays. Sundays he spends with Cower, Boomer, and the gang in the NFL Today. He's joining us once again, courtesy of Pinchers from Tampa to Key West, over a dozen locations in between. Pinchers, because you can't fake fresh. Good morning. Week 9 in the books. How are you?
Good morning, boys. Good. And looking at injuries all day yesterday, talking to Dr. Chow, and that was issue 1 always on Mondays. Watching the game last night and trying to keep a real pulse of who the potential playoff teams are and how they're doing. All of a sudden, the Chargers are going to be in the conversation today, and probably rightfully so. They get pass rushers and a quarterback and a couple receivers and Mr. Eckler. So those are the things that are going on with that stuff. And trying to think, like the Jets were sitting there yesterday before the game as the 8 seed, which is out of the thing, but you would think a win at home, and all of a sudden we'd be talking about them bumping someone out and keeping hopes alive for Rodgers. But those things are gone to the wayside for now. So that stuff right there, and probably already on. Well, I am already on to the matchups next week. A couple of good games. We'll get to that on Friday, I'm sure.
Is there a great team in the NFL right now?
Well, it's a good question, because if you poll the fans, and I'm sure you guys do a lot of polling, they'll tell you Baltimore is a great team. And they'll tell you that because of the dynamic quarterback and the defense that's coming like crazy, and they've got the best kicker. So if you ask me to rank them that way by who do they see as great, that's the first one getting the votes. It's kind of funny. Kansas City is kind of they're lukewarm. I don't know if they're winning convincingly enough, and destroying Seattle the way they did last week just put more fuel on that one. So Philadelphia. So I asked the question yesterday, if the final weekend was here, the championship weekend, which 4 teams would you put in it? Everybody picked Baltimore, and they picked them at home, that they will be at home. So we know how this goes. A month ago, I thought San Francisco was a no-brainer, and they weren't even in the discussion yesterday. So Detroit, this is how they see it. Detroit going to Philadelphia and Kansas City going to Baltimore. Jim Miller got right into that with, you guys are missing Jacksonville. But your answer is one team is getting the greatness call. That would be Baltimore.
Well, Jacksonville's going to have a chance. They host the Niners, and then in about 3 weeks after that, they host the Bengals. I mean, Jacksonville's going to have a chance to show just how good they are. Like Detroit had a chance earlier this year, and they got whooped in Baltimore. And they don't really have another chance to show that they're a heavyweight until they go to Dallas in between Christmas and New Year's. But Jacksonville's going to have a couple opportunities here, Pat, to show that, hey, we're taking that next step, and be ready to watch some Jags football into mid and late January.
Yep, I agree with you. And Jim feels they're gonna win those battles enough that people are going to see them that way. Philadelphia's schedule says they're going to get a chance to prove they're the top of the heap. They got some rough ones coming up, but I don't know. I think the big question everyone likes to talk about is, are all 4 teams from the North and the AFC going to make it? Well, I say they can't. It's not. I would love to see it happen once, but they're going to beat each other up. There's enough competitive spirits there, and those are the teams that see Lamar all the time. And Pittsburgh knows how to play Lamar, and I think some of the other guys feel they can. It is amazing, though, when you look at the teams that don't see Lamar, what happens to them. And that won't be they get destroyed completely. He ran 8 times in the first half on Sunday. And that just tells you they know, he knows they can't handle him. And so he didn't even have to run in the second half. The game was over. But as I said last week, he averages 15 runs against these NFC teams because they don't know what to do with him. But that doesn't happen in the AFC playoffs, does it? They're going to be people that have seen him, played against him before, and he's got to stay healthy. So those are, I would think, the way that's going to shake out.
Let's go back to the Chiefs-Dolphins game, Pat. The Dolphins haven't beat a team with a winning record in forever now. We get that. But are there positives to take from that game? Their defense showed. That's what we've been trying to figure out about Miami, is can that defense show up? And it showed up Sunday morning.
It did. It was a better performance than I usually see from them. But it goes back to what I say every time we talk about Miami. Now they've been sacked 11 times by the 3 teams that were good. And that just they can't protect Tua. And did you see Tua go to the ground and give himself up? He just won't cross the line of scrimmage. He got right by that line of scrimmage and goes right down. So as long as this thing is going to be Tua gets sacked, they lose, which is what it is. And now he has a losing record, a significant losing record with 4 sacks, and he's got a losing record with 3 sacks. So there, you can look right at this list and think, I know Spags will have 100 ways to get after him. Baltimore has 13 guys with sacks, so they're going to blow him up. Jimmy will tell you that Jacksonville is going to be able to get after him. Pittsburgh can get after him. So you start looking at the teams they might have to play. Lou Anarumo will get after him. So I don't know what's going to happen to them, but they are showing us that they cannot play with the big boys.
Well, I think the answer is they have to run the ball more. All right. They have to help the offensive line out by running the ball more. And I understand when you have Tyreek Hill, you want to be a pass happy. I get it. But I think it's kind of like the Jets last night. Troy Aikman was trying to make the point. Listen, you've got a struggling offensive line, and we're being kind. All right. You've got a quarterback who most of the league thinks isn't good enough. Why are you throwing the ball as much as you're throwing the ball? They came into the game last night, Pat, 25th in the league in rushing attempts average a game. You would think the Jets would be top 5 in the league in rushing attempts. They're 8th from the bottom in rushing attempts. I mean, between coaches going for 2 when they're not supposed to and going for touchdowns when they're not supposed to, why won't they run the damn ball?
Well, they did run the ball on 1st and 10s, and I was sitting with a coach last night watching the game, and he was losing his mind. I think in the first half, they ran the ball on 1st and 10 every time. He was charting it for another project he's on. And I kept saying, okay, when are you going to run a bootleg on 1st and 10? And they didn't. You know, when they want to pass, they put this kid who's a pretty good athlete in the midline throw it. So I think their offense doesn't feature the run game enough, but they run the ball in predictable moments, and they don't play to the quarterback's strengths, which is athleticism outside the pocket, which won't work unless you're running the ball enough to convince them you're running the ball. But if I saw it once, I saw it 20 times last night. He hands off and just drifts straight back. He never presents a threat, which also takes one of the defenders and puts him right into the run game. And you have to take a defender out by at least faking the bootleg. They weren't doing that at all. So the offense right now looks to me like they don't know how to play with Wilson, which is, and I'm not taking Wilson off the hook because 8 sacks, you can't say they weren't mostly his fault.
I mean, I don't know if taking him off the hook's the problem. He shouldn't be playing, Pat. He's
Oh.
not good enough to play in the league. I mean, it's.
And he wasn't going to play in the league. Rodgers, who rarely used to miss games, you know, this all happened because of him. But it's exposed a lot of teams, Mark, in this league that thought their quarterback was never going to get hurt. Don't follow the prediction rules about how many quarterbacks play. We're almost up. I think we're up to 2 quarterbacks per team now, but on average. So you just look at the guys who come off the bench and you say, you got to be kidding me. You think that guy deserves to go on the field? And there's been a lot of disappointing names that go out on the field as the backup. And if they have to go for an extended period of time, you know, I would have offered a lot to get Andy Dalton out of Carolina.
Okay. You know, we all knew who the top 3 quarterbacks are going to be in the draft. At least the top 2, you know, Drake May, North Carolina, and the Heisman winner there at USC. Whether it's the LSU quarterback, the Washington quarterback, the Oregon quarterback. Anyway, there's a plethora of quarterbacks that people think are NFL worthy. Pat, this is the top 10 in the draft if the draft were today. Okay. Stop me when I name a team that won't draft a quarterback, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
The Cardinals?
Yes.
You don't think the Cardinals will draft a quarterback?
I think they will.
Okay. No. Stop me when one of these teams won't.
Oh, okay. I apologize for not following your rules.
Arizona, the Bears twice, the Giants, the Patriots, the Rams, the Packers, the Bucks, the Broncos, the Titans are 10th.
All of them should, but we all know why they won't, because the top 4 will be gone, and guys after that are going to be in trouble. Chicago won't take 2 of them, so yeah, they're all going to be in the quarterback business. And it looks, I love this. We're going to look at this draft just like it was one of the great quarterback drafts. I don't know that it will be. It was interesting. My friend Jim Nagy down there at the Senior Bowl, he is looking at every player in the country. He's got a huge staff of scouts, and almost every one of them's got big NFL credentials as a personnel evaluator. He put his midseason All-America, his team out. You know who his quarterback was? The LSU kid.
Yep.
And so I put that in front of Phil the other day. Phil likes to talk about that because he does study the quarterbacks and he watches a lot of tape. He loves the kid. It's funny, it got a little cloudy on USC, but everyone still thought he was going to go number one when the thing was all said and done. You're going to be able to get to, I think, 4. You start stretching it out to 5. This time last year, we were talking about Levis as a first rounder. We all know certain things can happen and knock a guy out of the box. So I'd say 4 of them, and you listed 10 teams. So I would say by pick 6, there won't be the guy you want, and you'll just move on.
But just showing how glaring it is at the bottom, Mark. You've been talking for a couple of weeks about the chasm and that you think there are a lot of teams that are not good. Well, what's the common denominator here? And some of them have, Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray. I mean, there's some big name first-round. Patriots have a first-round pick. Giants have a first-round pick. Packers have a first-round pick at quarterback. And they're all on this list in which it's like, yeah, we got to go get another.
It goes back to what we've talked about. It's a 50-50 proposition with taking these quarterbacks in the first round.
It is. And some of those teams, now, who wants to take one but maybe not able to, and that is the team that thinks, I got 1 year left before they fire me. He'll take the veteran. He'll go take Cousins and hope he's healthy.
He's Pat Kirwan, NFL Radio's Moving the Chain, CBS Sports, the NFL Today Show, and he joins us twice a week, courtesy of Pinchers. Pinchers, from Tampa to Key West, Pinchers, where you cannot fake fresh. More with Pat coming up on the other side. If you have a question for Pat or for either of us, 21,000 is the text line. Feel free to text it in as we'll get into more of what happened in Week 9 with Pat Kirwan. Next on Miller and Moulton. Where else? But right here on the Florida Sports Network.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Myers.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Anything good going on, fellas?
In what way?
Well, what's your next assignment next week? Then you have a strange game. Do you have Denver or somebody?
Denver, Buffalo, and Buffalo.
Where are you Saturday?
We're in Missouri. For Tennessee, Missouri, we've shown Georgia too many times. It basically came down to CBS had to make a decision. Do we show Missouri at Georgia or Ole Miss at Georgia? And since they chose Missouri at Georgia, I would have rolled the dice that Georgia was going to beat Missouri and saved it. But so we're doing Tennessee, Missouri, which is a battle of top 20 teams. And then we'll do Georgia, Tennessee, and then the Iron Bowl.
Wait a minute. You have 2 connections to get to Buffalo?
No.
Someone typed that. I didn't hear what you said. I'm like,
no.
Great.
All of my buddies around here that live in Florida that live in Buffalo, they take the one-stop Delta. Some of them prefer that one, and the other guys take. I think they fly into Rochester and drive over. They got a nonstop they take.
Oh, probably on that Allegiant.
Yeah, some crazy
cheapo airline.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can take Delta to Atlanta and then Atlanta to Fort Myers. I'm taking Delta, I think, to Detroit from Kansas City. I'm staying in Kansas City Friday and Saturday. It's 2 hours from KC to Columbia. It's 2 hours from St. Louis to Columbia, Missouri. So pick your choice.
Pick your bad airport.
Well, and I want to check out the Kansas City airport because apparently it's brand new.
It's nice. It's so different than it used to be. I used to hate going to Kansas City. I always thought the airport was closed.
Yep, it was awful.
Yeah, but it's not like that now. It's really nice.
And it was easier for me to get to Buffalo at a decent time out of Kansas City than it was St. Louis. So that's why I'm. And it's easy for me. I can just fly to Atlanta and then go Atlanta to KC. So that's why I'm staying in Kansas City.
Name the quarterbacks that have to get recoached. I put Josh Allen on that list with Justin Herbert.
Do you think he has to get? Do you think he has to get recoached, or do you think they need to make a change at coordinator?
Well, being recoached is by someone that is going to change him and harness that whole thing, and get the crazy decision making out of his system.
Yeah, I think they're too far. I think they're too far down the road with this. I think they would need a new. They'd have to get rid of McDermott to then go there. I don't think under McDermott he'll bring in somebody to be that hard ass.
Maybe
I think Dable was the hardest ass coach that he will have under McDermott.
Yeah, maybe true. Another year or so, he can get Dable back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. But I look at these quarterbacks. That was Mark's question. It was really like they quickly, and maybe it's like golfers, and I think golfers get in bad places, and they get recoached back into some level of control.
Well, what I think we're also realizing here is there's going to be so many places that need quarterbacks that when Arizona gives up on Kyler Murray and Chicago gives up on Justin Fields, these guys are going to have places to land.
Well, there's a question for you. I can't find a team that definitely, well, that's a bad word, who would think Kyler Murray's our answer. With that contract and everything else, who is going to jump up? When I hear they're going to draft a quarterback, and I think they should, what do they think they're getting for Kyler Murray with that deal? And how much of the deal are they going to have to pay?
Well, don't you think they're going to have to do kind of what the Rams did? They're going to have to just eat it for a year. There's going to come a year where Arizona is just going to have to eat.
Here we go.
The cap charge next year is $81 million.
I know.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network.
Our remaining moments with Pat Kirwan, NFL Radio's Moving the Chains, weekdays 3 to 7, Saturdays 2 to 5. Sunday, he works for CBS on the NFL Today show. He joins us Tuesdays and Fridays, courtesy of Pinchers, Tampa to Key West, a dozen points in between. Pinchers, because you can't fake fresh.
Well, I asked for the text, and I got them. And I got one very angry texter with a lot of capital letters when we talked about the best teams in the game, Pat, and said this person just simply says, hello, the Eagles are the best team in the league. This is crazy. The Eagles are the best team in the league, period. You are what your record says you are.
Well, I'm glad he put it all in caps so I can remember them. No, I love the team. They're the best team in the NFC. But right now, when you look at what Baltimore is doing in a dominating fashion, maybe that's the difference for me. But it's great barroom talk. I wish I knew the guy. I could sit down and split a picture with him. But sorry, I got to ask the question. And you know what Mark wanted? One answer. I gave it to him. Baltimore.
Well, once
and
again,
they're not that far apart. They can go kick each other's rear end if they want to. But,
Yeah.
and maybe they will.
Yeah.
In Vegas.
Maybe they'll meet at the end of the year. I am concerned about Hurts. He's clearly injured, and he's playing through it. And usually when you're injured and you're playing through it as a quarterback, you don't get healthier. So I hope he can make it to the finish line, if you know what I mean, Pat.
Yeah, and especially with his style, right? Because he's going to take off and run. I apologize for this sound. Someone decided that I don't even know, and he's decided to blow leaves at my house while we're talking. So I apologize for this. If you can hear this,
No.
If you don't hear it, good for you. But I'm looking at the guy like, go away, but he won't go away.
It's okay. It's all right.
Yeah.
Listen, we played a play of the day earlier that was you couldn't even hear it. Okay.
Well, I feel
so
better now
we're
'cause
so
I
you
didn't
know
want the listeners
right.
to be
This is
subjected
Miller
to
and
it.
Moulton. This ain't a network show. You're fine.
Okay, keep going out there. You're doing great. All right, back to the show. I apologize for that. Look, the Philadelphia statement by the coach, that's great. And I love their pride, and they are very good. But your point about Hurts is he's not a one-dimensional player. He's a leader, and he's a runner, and he's a power sneak guy, and he's all these things. And we saw Daniel Jones. We knew he got hurt to play before, but he tried to suck it up and go. He buckled right away. I just hope that Hurts can stay healthy the distance because we've seen. Oh, that's right, Baltimore. Their quarterback never makes it to the finish line anymore either. So they need to be careful with him. So I don't know. If you bring up injuries, you got to bring up every quarterback in the league. What happens to Kansas City if Mahomes is hurt? Think they even win a game?
How then is it possible that Joe Burrow was able to get healthier while playing? Because right now he looks like a week one quarterback, and they seem to have found their stride midseason, Pat.
Yeah, they have. And it's an interesting. I talked to the tight end yesterday, Drew Sample, and just talking about how much, Joe inspired everybody because they were all bumps and bruises, and they all were feeling like, man, I could take a day off. And when they saw Joe play through a calf, he was hopping on one foot for 3 weeks. So I think David said this a year ago. It's like, it's not who you play, it's when you play them. And now playing Cincinnati is a bad idea for everybody. And they could be as dangerous as anybody in the NFL. And they got a lot of guys that have been to the big dance, know what it takes. And again, their defense complements their offense. So they do, and Philadelphia's defense. But, okay, Mr. Philadelphia, tell me about your secondary. Tell me how you feel about them right now. Did you guys feel like they're ready to take on an elite quarterback who's going to throw the ball 35 times? I don't know if they are. If they sack him, great. But what's going on in that back end? That didn't look like Super Bowl material to me.
Well, listen, we're going to find out all we need to know about the Eagles and whether or not the 8-1 is inflated by quality of competition. Because after their bye week, which they need, they go Kansas City, Buffalo, San Francisco, Dallas, Seattle, with Kansas City, Dallas, and Seattle on the road.
Yeah.
So
and
that's
if
a
they get
pretty
through
damn
that,
good 5-game stretch.
Yeah. And if they got through that 3-2, I'd give them the status of the best in the NFC. Heck, and they might be the best in the NFL, but people, if you don't pick their team, they take it personal. And sometimes I like to dish it right back to them.
What do you make of Josh Jobs? We don't see things like that. I mean, getting the plays explained in his headset. I mean, not knowing players' names, not knowing the plays, having really no shot and doing what he did. What do you make of all that, Pat?
Well, I said this yesterday. What makes it even more intriguing, look, Baker went out to LA last year, right?
Yep.
And he did it. But Baker was a starting quarterback with wins. This guy was never a starter, and he was never a guy who won games. What was his total win total for his career? 2, 3? Not more than that. So when Joshua Dobbs goes out and does what he did, we were all laughing about, oh, there goes another reason not to have preseason games. You don't even need, he took 4 days, and they talked to him in his helmet and talked him through stuff, and he gave all the credit to the assistant quarterback coach, right? That kind of went 24/7 with him to get him boned up. He's a very bright guy.
Very bright.
Yeah, this is exceptional intellect here. This is NASA material, right? He works for the space company, the whole shooting match. So,
yes.
But they also, and this is what I wish all coaches would do, they had to realize he can't handle everything, so let's cut the package down. We got too many coaches with that giant card full of plays. None of their players can handle all that. And I wish if coaches would act like they do 2 things that remind me they really do know what to do. When they have to play a backup, they reduce the package. And then when they're losing at halftime, they reduce the package. And I think too many guys are trying to do too many things and want all these answers on paper while prepping for the week. They don't practice all those plays, not with the way we practice. So they're running things they think in theory, oh, this is a cover 4 beater. We need 7 plays for a cover 4 beater. I think the Dobbs thing is another example of let them play free, keep it simple, and let the guys be athletic. Maybe Ron Earhart told me that, but I don't see enough of it.
And Pat, this is 2 years in a row now in which we've seen teams, for necessity, have to bring in a quarterback on staggeringly short notice, and the quarterbacks have done okay and, in fact, won games. There's this misnomer, you can't make a trade for a quarterback if your guy gets hurt because, you need a training camp and a new system and what have you. Can we begin to throw that out as well? I mean, how many systems are different, to be honest? I mean, isn't 28 out of the 32 teams running a variation of the West Coast?
Look, I'm so on your side on this. I argue with Jimmy Miller all the time. He was in every system known to man. And he keeps thinking the system is the most important thing if you want to get a guy up and running. I don't. And I'm with you. There's about 8 ways to call a slant route. But if you go to the quarterbacks here and say, hey, we're going to throw a slant to X on this play, you don't have to have all that stuff. I saw Boomer Esiason, a very bright guy, go in our huddle. We traded for 2 players, a receiver and a running back. They came from other languages, which is really all you're talking about. They're still ordering pizza, right, in a different language. I saw Boomer call the play to our guys, turn to the running back and call the play in his language, turn to the receiver and call it in his language, and they went out and ran a play. So I am so fed up with languages. Eddie Donatel had the most important quote. They should make the language generic. With all the trading we do and all the player movement, we should, on our own, figure out a generic language so we can move players around and play faster.
He's Pat Kirwan, and he joins us twice a week, courtesy of Pitchers. Taking on the league, the coaches, and the fans. Bring it.
10
seconds. Thank you very much. Taking on the league, I'm up to that too. 92 fines in the last 4 weeks. 92 fines. And that little running back from Pittsburgh, he lost his whole salary for a block that was terrific. League better calm down.
Thanks, Pat. That's Pat Kirwan. More right here on the Florida Sports
Go
Network.
Eagles! Go Eagles!
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to shop with the best. And the mall is not the place to be. Here are my friends, Jason and Todd with the Diamond District.
Take a stroll in the mall, pop into a few jewelry stores, and you'll soon discover you're in the wrong place. Rings begin to look all alike. You're not finding GIA certified diamonds. you quickly realize you know more than a salesperson helping you, and all the same financing gets pushed on you.
Visit Jason and me, and you'll find America's top bridal designers dealing exclusively with the Diamond District. You'll find the largest selection of GIA certified diamonds, all priced 8 to 10% over cost. You'll find educated sales consultants who have many years' experience and are not paid commissions.
And you'll find Todd and me in the store nearly every day, wanting to shake your hand and welcome you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Johnny O, are you still in the Twitch chat room? Because I don't really know what your need is to go to Twitter with something Pat said during a commercial break that is only for the Twitch audience. It's ridiculous. That's how we lose guests. So I hope you're happy with what you did, because stuff like that cost Miller and Moulton. But I hope you're proud that you ran to Twitter to take on Pat Kirwan, who I don't promote on Twitter ever. And there's a reason for that. But I'm glad that you attacked him personally on Twitter for making a comment about someone that played in the league 2 decades ago. In a Twitch break that's only for the Twitch audience, that we'll never get if stuff like that happens. Ever. Come at me. Come at David. Don't come at our guests.
I'm tired of everybody having to be perfect. Can't you just accept when somebody says something you don't like?
No, I got to run to
agree
Twitter.
with. I mean, does everybody have to be Jesus? I mean, come on.
He gets us. I was just using the Jesus commercial.
I know. I was going to say, does he? I mean, Jesus might, but.
Look at the cheaters even coming to my defense.
Oh, here
That
we
was,
go.
that was a shot. It was. I couldn't help it.
That was a whole moment of the day.
It was unnecessary.
8:35. A whole moment of the day, right there. There we go.
Why are you assuming that? We got Chambers at 9 o'clock. Kavanaugh just tweeted it out.
Yeah. What do you?
Pack show.
We tweeted it out. FGCU tweeted it out. We promoted it twice during the show on air.
How funny was that when Pat was talking about the guy blowing leaves in his yard and we couldn't even hear
Couldn't hear a thing.
That was great.
Also, I'm trying to think, wait a minute, where's he staying in Florida? His place in Florida is on the 17th floor.
That's
Mark and I are both looking at one another like, how the hell can a leaf blower be bothering him where he is? How about if you get off your damn lanai and go inside?
David, I think you bring up a great point about Hurts because it might hit the fan for them quick with their schedule.
Well, listen, he's tough as hell. But
Oh, yeah.
I just, I want him to be healthy all year. Healthy enough to play. I don't want him, I don't want to have happen to the Eagles what's happened to the Ravens the last 2 years where Lamar couldn't make it to the finish line.
Right. I'm just saying, if the Lions keep winning games,
I will say David's prediction of the Lions being a 1 is not a huge stretch.
No, not at all. If they take care of their business and the Eagles lose a couple games, they will be, especially now the Cowboys have 3 losses. 5 seconds, one back.
It's going to be tough for Jacksonville since they lost to KC.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
"22 minutes until the top of the hour. 22 minutes till the top of the hour. Miller and Moulton, the Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. It's our final segment along the network in Southwest Florida, which has been our longtime home. We do the Diamond District Bonus Hour, and Pat Chambers, the FGCU men's basketball coach, their season opener is tonight in Bloomington, Indiana, what will be a very emotional Assembly Hall. The first game for the Indiana Hoosiers in the wake of Bob Knight's passing last week. But FGCU won their season opener at USC last year. So we'll talk to the coach about that as the college basketball season, Mark, got underway yesterday. 2 top 5 teams losing, one on the men's side, and the number 1 ranked women's team got beat. That's what I'm talking about.
I caught a little bit of a college basketball podcast. To put it this way, I don't even know who it was. Just scrolling through X, and the head of the tweet said, "Kansas is overrated. Here's why." And I'm like, all right, I'll give this guy 5 minutes. And he made a prediction that all 5 teams that are in this is before yesterday, all 5 teams that are in the AP top 5 will not finish in the AP top 5.
Ooh.
And Sparty goes down like a ton of bricks in game 1. I'm like, well, this guy might be onto something here.
Interesting. I will say, and once again, we all know college sports does not have a commissioner. Each conference does and what have you. And this is where a sport not having overall leadership does hurt the sport. Because if you were running college sports as an entity, what would you do? You would make sure at the very beginning when people are like, oh, wow, opening day, opening week, what would you do? You'd schedule a bunch of really good games, right? The schedule for the most part this week is not good. I mean, these coaches want wins. They don't want to promote the sport. I mean, now they got plenty of good games later on, but I mean, considering, you could count on one hand, Mark, last night, the number of games in which if you just looked at the teams, you thought, oh, wow, that's a good game. Oh, glad they scheduled one another. Like Auburn's playing Baylor tonight. Okay, way to go. Last night, USC and K-State played each other. Yeah, okay. Little Pac-12, Big 12 action. All right, good for you guys.
But now you're right, so I can't dispose your argument of this season, but college basketball has always brought more to the table than from a scheduling standpoint than college football. Or, I mean, they have the tournaments in New York. They have the tournaments everywhere. I mean, the preseason tournaments before conference play start, they get after it in college basketball. They play one another. Teams have real schedules.
Yes, but if you were running the sport as a whole, what would you do in the first 72 hours of it?
Probably have those tournaments then.
Or at least get some of the better matchups. If we're going to have a lull week, let's schedule it not the first week in November. Don't the third week in November when you're leading into Thanksgiving. There's great college basketball in and around Thanksgiving. Oh, we ain't going to pay attention to that. What, are you kidding me? It's a college football rivalry weekend. It's the NFL.
And David, the problem is because it all not really leaked out, but it all has become known. These schools all had really good scrimmages. They were all, they did some games where they gave money to charities, but they had some scrimmages that didn't count that were big boys play. It's like, come on, put those on television. What are you doing?
Well, yeah. And the NCAA actually gets involved in the scrimmages. You need permission. It can only be for a really good reason. So
but
they
get
have
rid of the scrimmages and have the games. That's their problem. They don't need to have these. Have the games. I mean, that's what you're telling us.
But so anyway. So FGCU Indiana tonight, Big Ten Network, if anyone's interested. If for no other reason, don't you have to watch the beginning of this game? I'm curious, what's Indiana going to do? To honor Bob Knight, I want to see what are they doing on their uniforms? Are they going to do anything pregame? Is there going to be a member of the Knight family? Will the wife? Because Bob spent his last days in Bloomington. The widow lives around the corner. The son played at Indiana, was an assistant coach at Indiana. I'm interested in, we'll get to the game. Indiana's supposed to be really good.
And they're only a 12.5-point favorite.
FGCU picked to finish second in their conference, by the way. Eastern Kentucky, the pick in the A-Sun, but FGCU in some polls was picked second. We'll see. They picked fourth last year, finished 11th, but we'll see. We'll talk to the head coach in about 15 minutes. But yes, college hoops got underway yesterday. 2 top 5 upsets. Okay. Hey, Michigan State, James Madison, hell of a lot better than the Jets and the Chargers.
Got that right.
Man. Whew.
And don't worry, you'll get Zach Wilson, more of him nationally televised this Sunday night.
So did you catch what was it Derwin James who came up to him? Because Rodgers was at the game last night.
Yeah,
so
he's taking 3-step drops in the pre. I mean, that was the biggest news of the game, that he was taking 3-step drops in pregame.
Right. I mean, it's only 2 months it's not even 2 months since he got injured and had surgery. And so he walks to midfield after the game. Players, hey, good game, how's it going? Blah, blah, blah. A couple of people exchange jerseys. And Derwin James goes up to him and says, when are you coming back? And you can clearly hear what Rodgers said. He said, a few weeks. Okay.
He's obviously not from this planet if he's going to come back from an Achilles.
There's no
in this
way,
amount of time.
Right? There's no way. That's unprecedented.
Well,
especially at his age, right? I don't know.
Listen, who was this is going back quite a few years. This is going back to Bill Cowher's first Super Bowl with the Steelers. But remember in the first game of that year, Rod Woodson blew out his knee? Now, this is almost 30 years ago. You blew out your knee. If you made it back in a year, people are like, wow. Rod Woodson came back for the Super Bowl. Played in the Super Bowl for the Steelers. That at the time, that was revolutionary. And how many months was that? 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, that was 5 months. I mean, towards ACL. 5 months later, he's playing in the Super Bowl. And that was nearly 30 years ago. So, listen, I don't know anymore. There's some procedure that just Alternative? I don't know. You know, he's smoking the ganja, whatever he does there in the dark room for 2 days. I don't know. I don't know. Besides a few, when I grew up, a definition of a few was 3 to 30. But I mean, I know most of us think 3.
Do you think he plays this year?
I think he's going to try to. Yes. If I were the Jets, I wouldn't let him. Honestly, I wouldn't let him. I'd say, that's cute, what you're doing. I really appreciate the effort and what have you. We're not going to the playoffs. I cannot have you risk your future, however long you have left. We all know how tough you are, how much you want to play and what have you. I really appreciate it. I will kidnap you and throw you in a storage closet before I let you onto that field.
What record do the Jets need for Rodgers to come back? If you know what I mean.
Okay.
And let's just say he can come back for the last 3 or 4 games.
Well, all right. When do they play the Dolphins in Miami?
That would be December the 17th.
Okay. How many games between now and then? They're 4-4.
There are 5 games for them between now and then. They have the Raiders, at the Bills, home for the Dolphins, home for the Falcons, home for the Texans before they play at Miami.
Okay. If they go 3-2 and they're 7-6 going to Miami, 7-6 going to Miami, and we've done with him what Arizona just did with Kyler Murray, which was he practiced all week. He made it through all the tests. There's no swelling. You feel good. You're ready to go. Well, okay, then you're going because Kyler's going to start this Sunday. I would still be a no, by the way. I would. I'd be like, we're not going to go on a deep playoff run with this team. We're not. I'm sorry. No.
Oh, with Aaron Rodgers and that defense? Are you sure?
Did you see the offensive line? That's the other thing. I'm going to get him killed. Mekhi Becton's my left tackle, okay? He sucks. Right? Sucks. Billy
Who's
Turner.
worse, Zach or Mekhi Becton?
Oh, no, Zach.
Okay.
But Mekhi sucks. Don't kid yourself. He sucks.
No, I know.
Okay, but Zach Wilson shouldn't be in the league. All right. Zach Wilson shouldn't be in the USFL. Honestly, A.J. McCarron's watching the game last night in St. Louis, turned into his wife going, can you believe I can't get a job? I led the Battlehawks to a title. You know that? Anyway. No, I don't let him play. But that, to me, Mark, would be the line of demarcation. They win 3 of their next 5 somehow, some way. They're 7-6 going to Miami. And in theory, they've already beaten the Dolphins on Black Friday. And so now we start adding up the division record here. You know, they've already beaten Buffalo. They lost to New England. Now, during this stretch, you know, they're at Buffalo. I'm going to give them a loss there. So what are they, 2-2 in the division? Going to Miami. I got games at Miami and at New England if I'm the Jets. And I got to win both those games, obviously. That, to me, would be the line of demarcation. Don't even bring it up to me unless we're 7-6 and he's passed a week's worth of tests where, in theory, he could have played last week, but we held him out. Behind that line, though, that line. Now, a lot of that line was the quarterback just doesn't know when to get rid of the ball, where to get rid of the ball, holds on to it too long. I mean, obviously, Aaron knows that line would suck and he would get rid of the ball quickly and what have you. And hopefully his guys from Green Bay would catch the ball when he throws it as opposed to when Zach throws it to him because they just dropped him like crazy last night. But they can't line up properly. They can't get off the snap properly, and they can't block. I mean, that's what I'm putting him behind. He's 40 years old, basically, and he's coming off the torn Achilles. You want me to put him behind that?
David, I would put him out there. I would. There are no guarantees of next year or anything beyond. I'm taking a shot. If there's a legitimate shot at making the playoffs with that defense, Pittsburgh's been outgamed in every game they've played this year, and they've won 5 times.
So you're telling me if they're 6-7, They got 4 games left. In theory, they could win out and make the playoffs. You'd put them out there at 6
You're
and 7?
damn right I would.
Wow. Wow.
You're damn right I would.
It's like you're treating them like they're a piece of meat, like they're
Because
disposable.
that's what they are. And no, I can't find another one that looks just like him, but I'll find another one.
I will say, do you know what the best case you could make? Okay, you want them to play. I don't. I outrank you. You have to get through me. You know what your best argument is? Not Aaron Rodgers, not the standings. You know what the best argument is? You look right at me and you go, fine, we'll put Zach Wilson back out there. That's your best argument, okay? And you put a Zach Wilson highlight reel together and sit here and say, the answer is no, huh? And then put 5 minutes of Zach Wilson in front of me. Okay? I might claw my eyes out.
I don't think I'd need 5 minutes.
I don't think so either.
You'd be screaming. You'd be in the fetal position going, no, no.
I think by minute 3, Aaron Rodgers would be starting, and by minute 4.5, I'd cut Zach Wilson. Okay. So a few weeks, according to Aaron Rodgers.
That's what he said.
Yep. That's what he said. So we'll see. That's what I want, though. I want more Jets on national television. That's what I want. Don't we all want more Jets games on national television?
We get one this Sunday when they take on the Raiders in prime time Sunday night.
That's what we need.
Jets.
I will say, if you're there, the chant, when Fireman Ed does the chant right before kickoff, it's actually pretty damn cool. For 3 minutes, MetLife Stadium looks and feels like a college game. It's actually pretty damn cool.
Then, unfortunately, the game starts.
Exactly.
And Zach Wilson's the quarterback.
I know.
And you don't want to play Aaron Rodgers.
You're making a very good
I don't
case.
even need to show you the highlight reel, and I think I've got you a lot closer now than I did just a minute ago. And all we did was talk about Zach Wilson.
Well, that's because it's fresh in my mind. I just watched it. Okay, a month from now, you'd have to show me the highlights.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again.
Yeah. Hi. Excuse me.
Hey, the line starts back here. Ma'am, if your party's not here, you're going to have to go around again.
If you had the opportunity to avoid all this, wouldn't you?
Salt Live is the official transportation provider of the Miller and Moulton Morning Show, making your trip to and from the airport seamless and stress-free. Salt Live is supported with the help of local partners like the Bayfront Inn. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn, something for everyone on 5th Avenue in downtown Naples. BayfrontInNaples.com. When you need a ride, book with Salt Live Transportation, 308-8686, or book on saltlivetransportation.com.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to make sure you're shopping with the best. And the best when it comes to GIA certified diamonds and diamond jewelry is not online. It's not in the malls. And it's not with any of the new pop-up jewelry stores trying to make a go of it here in Southwest Florida. The best place to buy diamonds is with my friends Jason and Todd at the Diamond District, who have made Southwest Florida their home for over 20 years now. The largest selection of GIA certified diamonds is with the Diamond District. The only place you'll find diamonds 8 to 10% over cost is with the Diamond District. America's top bridal designers have chosen the Diamond District to represent their engagement rings exclusively in Southwest Florida. Simply put, the best selection, experience, and best prices are with Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
I think you're right, Mr. Butte. The Hard Rock app is live.
Wait, like gambling?
I'm on the app right now. They're asking for deposits.
Oh my goodness. Well, guess what I'm doing later today. We are calling Coach Chambers, correct?
Yes. Just, that's his cell. And so you don't have to call him super early. I'd call him about 9 o'clock.
Sounds good.
I don't care if I did or not. I'm still pissed. We have guests that come on our show. They don't get paid to come on our show. He makes a comment, and then someone in the Twitch chat room, and essentially in a conversation just for you guys, runs to Twitter to call him out. It's bullshit.
Did I miss that? I must have missed that.
You didn't see the tweet.
Okay. Yes, Yinzer, even LeBron called out the Steelers. It's pretty funny. LeBron tries so hard to be such a football guy, and he is, but it's just funny how he's so outwardly outspoken about it. I love football, and here are my picks today, and here's my take on this and that and that and this.
Only can deposit through PayPal.
Through PayPal? They must have an exclusive deal with PayPal or something. That's weird.
And Johnny, since you're going back to Twitter, I'll come back on here. What the hell are you going on Twitter for? To attack Pat Kirwan? Are you kidding me? Do you not want to be a guest on this show?
Well, but also, Johnny, come on. What goes on Twitch stays on Twitch.
Good God, man.
I'd rather. Go make a comment on Twitch. We'll respond.
Oh, but we don't respond to it enough on Twitch because we don't respond to every comment, which we shouldn't.
No, the chat room,
not Twitch chat room show.
Right.
Good Christ. I'm about ready to run the 7 o'clock hour and leave. I've had it.
It's tough to be a show our size and get the guest list that we get. Come on.
No Coach Chambers yet. I'm going to keep calling him. I'll give you the point mark when we got him.
If you call a second time and don't get it.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
It is the bonus hour, the Diamond District bonus hour. Miller and Moulton, the Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. We hope to catch up with FGCU men's basketball coach Pat Chambers. We're having trouble reaching him at the moment. The Eagles begin their season tonight in Bloomington, Indiana, against the Hoosiers. Meanwhile, the FGCU women victorious in their.
Well, that was interesting. As David was talking, he just got cut off. So as he was saying, the Eagles taking on Indiana tonight. They are a 12.5-point dog taking on the Hoosiers in their season opener tonight in Bloomington. As we have mentioned, it is obviously a very big game in Indiana basketball circles with the passing of Coach Knight in the past few days. So it will be an emotional night at Assembly Hall for FGCU as they take on the Eagles tonight in their first game. And we should be hooking up here with Coach Chambers momentarily. And now we do have Coach Chambers on the line. Good morning, Coach. How are you?
Good morning, gentlemen. How you doing?
We're doing very well. Well, just give us an assessment. You're ready for the season. Obviously, it's a long grind getting ready. How does the team look? How excited are you for tonight?
We are fired up for this evening. The off season has been long, but a really good one. Our guys got right back to work in the spring. Worked as hard as they could as far as changing the body, getting healthy, working on their weaknesses, honing in on their strengths. Really solid summer, too. They were here most of summer session 1 and summer session 2. And, we require you to be here summer session 2. They wanted to be here summer session 1. So that should give you an idea of the growth and maturity of the guys on the team and the leadership that we have. And then the preseason has been really sound. Again, they're playing against each other so much, so they're salivating to go up against another opponent. We did have 2 secret scrimmages, they call them, and we fared well and we competed. We got better, but then you start on a stage like tonight. What a thrill it is to come back to Bloomington, and for me, and then some of these guys haven't been here before, and you know what? We'll see what we can do. We'll put out our best and try to play FGCU basketball for 40 minutes.
Coach, I know, everybody always looks forward. If for the sake of your fans, if we could go back for 1 minute, when you did the post-mortem on last year, because it was really 2 different seasons, all under one roof, if you will. Terrific start, 2 fantastic non-conference road wins. You get off to a good start in conference play, and then it just went off the rails. What did you and your staff conclude after year 1?
Yeah, it was really off-season conditioning and really living in the weight room. We were hurt. Look, everybody goes through it. There's no excuses. There's no explanations. I think the off-season was massive for us this year. As far as getting stronger, building that mental toughness, I call it mental conditioning, to be able to fight through some injuries or fight through some significant pains or fight through mentally or fight through expectations. I think if you add that up, that's a bad formula. And that's why we struggled late January, all of February. We used 11 different starting lineups and there was no cohesion. There was no connectivity when this guy's in, this guy's out. And we got to learn from that. So I feel like we added some really important players in Keyshawn Kelman and added Dalian Johnson and added Romeo Barno. And I really believe those guys are going to lift us up with the veterans that we already have. Those guys, Zach Anderson wasn't used to that role last year. Chase Thompson was in another role. Isaiah Thompson in another role. And so to get everybody acclimated to their new positions, their new roles, was very different because they didn't have that same role at the prior school that they were at. So we put that all together, and that's why you stub your toe a little bit. But, man, what great lessons did we learn. And I needed to do a better job, too, of really building a foundation, of building a culture of being detailed and bought into the little things. And I believe we've done that this offseason. I believe we've done that this preseason. And, we'll find out where we are tonight. But regardless of outcomes, we just have to keep getting better and have to prepare ourselves for conference play come January 4th.
When you mentioned conditioning was a problem, it sounds like camp must have been a hell of a time for these players. When you talk about guys buying in, and the coach is saying last year maybe conditioning was a problem, it sounds like you had a hell of a camp.
We did, and it's really them, right? They're the ones that are leading the charge. We can only say so much in this day and age. So they're leading the charge. They're holding each other accountable. I think once your players start taking ownership of the locker room and what you're doing in the weight room, we ran the mile, we blew out times, just incredible time. And we did a lot of things on the soccer field to get us in shape to be able to handle the next 6.5, 7 months of what it's going to be to compete at a high level. The inconsistencies show up. Fatigue makes a coward of all of us. So inconsistencies show up when we're tired, and the last 4 minutes really need to have a clear head and be able to communicate and compete at the highest of levels.
He's Pat Chambers. He's beginning year 2, leading the FGCU men's basketball program. They're in Bloomington, Indiana, Big Ten Network, 6:30 Eastern tonight, taking on the Hoosiers. You can follow Coach on Twitter at Coach_Chambers, Coach_Chambers. You've coached there before, all those years at Penn State. Isaiah Thompson, your preseason best player since he averaged 15 points a game for you last year. He played there since he played at Purdue for a couple years. Do you and he talk to the guys at all about what to expect tonight, or do you don't do that?
My approach is this is the next game on the schedule or the first game on the schedule, regardless if it's at Indiana, FGCU, whoever we're playing and wherever we're playing. We went in last night and got the shots up. So think about this. Half my staff has coached in this building. There's 4 or 5 guys that played in this building, or at least played, Keyshawn played in the Sweet 16. You can't get much higher than those stakes. Dalian Johnson came from Penn State. He's played in this building. So we've had guys that have gotten some high major reps into facilities like we're going into tonight. But yet, Bobby night passed, and you still got to go out and throw the ball up and play the game, and it's going to be a great crowd. So, I just want to see us come out and really compete these first 4 minutes, and that'll set the tone once everything calms down. That'll set the tone for the next 36 minutes. But look, we're super excited. Everybody's fired up to play in this game tonight.
How do you attack the first 4 minutes? Because obviously emotions are going to be high for them, their crowd, and all of those things. So is it making sure you use the entire shot clock? How do you handle the first 4 minutes in a game where emotions for your opposition will be really high?
It's taking a big deep breath and slowing yourself down a little bit, but focusing on what we can focus on, control what we can control, right? All the great cliches we can throw out here. Just dialed in or locked in on what has made us really good this preseason. Defend and rebound, be in the right spots, communicate loud, communicate often, build that connectivity on defending and rebounding. And really let's let defending and rebounding dictate our offense. And then on the offensive end, be an all-star in your role. You know what your strengths are. We know what your strengths are. Make sure you play to your strengths. We don't need any heroes out there in the first 4 minutes. Let's just compete at a high level. And we're not worried about the results, right, in the first 4 minutes. We're just worried about ourselves and taking care of what we can take care of.
Give us an area where you think we're definitely better in this area on this year's team than we were last year's team, which is not a knock on last year's team, but obviously you recruited some new guys. You want to get better. Give me 1 or 2 areas where you think, oh, yeah, we're going to be better at this year.
I think defending we were 12th in defending the paint or twos. So I think we're going to be better. I believe we're going to be better defending twos. Now, we might give up an extra 3 here and there. We were number 2 in the league in defending the 3. So not so good defending the rim, really good defending the 3. Something has to give. Let's meet in the middle somewhere. That'll give us a better chance of, instead of spotting a team 20, like we did sometimes in February, and then coming all the way back and making that a one-possession game. If you recall, we were in one-possession games, 9 of those losses last year in January, February. 9 of those games where it's a 2-point, either up 2, down 2, up 3, down 3. So if we can just tighten up defending the paint a little bit and then finishing plays, just rebounding the ball out of our area, finding guys, old school term, boxing out. If we can just do those little things, again, we really got married to doing simple and doing simple well. So defending the paint, rebounding the ball. If we can do those 2 things, I think you'll see a better FGCU basketball team.
Pat Chambers and the Eagles of FGCU. Final question. You were picked either second or third, depending on whether or not it was the media or the coaches in the A-Sun this year. You comfortable with that?
You know, I think that's great. I'm not sure how, because usually you have 2 or 3 guys preseason, first team, all A-Sun, and we didn't have one. So I'm not sure why we were preseason 2, but that's great. That's fine if that's what they wanted to do. And I think it's for fans. I think it's for the students. I think it's for alums. You know, obviously, if we're 1 or 2 at the end of the season, I'll be a lot happier come March.
Well, Coach, stay healthy. Not just you, but your team. Safe travels and good luck tonight. And thanks for your time.
Hey guys, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. And please come out to the games. It's a fun team. You're really going to like this team. It's an older team. It's a good group of guys. Come out and cheer them on. And Alico Arena is a great atmosphere. So please come on out and check these guys out. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, Coach.
Bye-bye.
Going to be a little while till they're home, I believe. No, they've got a game Friday at home against Ave Maria, but then they're not home for like 2 weeks after that. They've got a challenging road schedule. They got Cincinnati. They got Minnesota on the road. They host FAU.
Two Big 10 and a Big 12. See, with Cincinnati, you can say that now.
Yes, but they host Final Four FAU. I give FAU credit. They continued the home and home even after they made it big. Good for the Owls. And FGCU gets them, I believe, December 30th, the final game before conference play. So make your plans accordingly.
A passionate plea from Coach Chambers.
Yes.
For FGCU fans to get out and watch some hoops. He sold me. I'm going to more games this year. That's my promise to FGCU. I'm going to attend a few more games.
You watching 6:30 tonight, Big Ten Network?
Absolutely.
The waterways of Naples are a beauty to behold, and the Bayfront Inn has multiple ways for guests to enjoy the water and have some fun. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn. Something for everyone. On 5th Avenue in Naples.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Myers.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Hey, that FGCU Indiana game may get a few eyeballs. It's the first game of note on tonight. Everything else is 7:30.
Yep.
I'll be watching. I think most Big Ten fans will be watching.
Well, not only that, it's going to get at 45 seconds to a minute on SportsCenter.
Yep.
I mean, come on. First game at Assembly Hall after Bob Knight's passing.
Good
here you go. If anybody's going to stay up and watch this, will Big Ten Network or ESPN SportsCenter anchors, will they refer to FGCU as Dunk City?
Oh, I'm sure they will.
It's been 10 years.
If it was still Neil Everett, he would, but he just hung him up recently, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. He certainly would.
Yeah, but that's the late night. That's the 1-2 a.m. show you got to wait for.
Yeah.
Mello Chambers is using FGCU to get a bigger gig. He'd leave yesterday. It doesn't mean he's not a good dude, and it doesn't mean that he'll be able to get a job and he's not here for years. But I'm just saying. I mean, he was in the mix for the Temple job this year after 1 year. You know, I got somebody that tells me Fairfield's interested in him because they're blowing out that staff after this year. So, yeah.
Yeah, I've had no problem, Ryan. I've not deposited any money, but I'm in, and I had an account, so I used my old information, but it right away sent me a text to confirm it and all that kind of good stuff.
A mutual friend of ours already put $1,000 in the account.
Did he?
Yeah.
I texted him that it was alive.
Yes.
Hard Rock Bet. That's the one.
Yep.
Anybody else having trouble, or is it just Ryan? I sent something on Twitter like 15, 20 minutes ago, and I haven't had anybody give me any backlash about any problems. Does Ryan have the right app? Hard Rock Bet?
I don't know, but Daniel, I mean, it's live.
It's alive.
There are many people tweeting about it.
It's alive.
Yes. Yes, Spitz. Live as in you can bet. We are the largest state in the union that has legalized sports betting now.
And yes, Ryan, it is the purple, black, and white app.
Hard Rock Bet is what it's actually called.
You know, one more quick sidebar on Rodgers. If he does come back, that will revolutionize the Achilles surgery, because didn't they say he had some fancy new type of thing because he's Aaron Rodgers and we should all just bow down to him anyways? I don't know. He might be back, like he might be feeling okay, but I feel like to go back to game speed, you just can't do that. I don't know if the Jets doctors will even clear him. That would be amazing, though. Amazing. Back in 5.
There you go, Ryan. Update your iOS software.
Welcome to the bonus hour, brought to you by Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
These These are crazy times, ladies and gentlemen. Crazy times in the last 20 minutes. Sports betting in Florida is legal again. The Hard Rock app is live. And I am giving out technological advice during the commercial break to those on Twitch. I don't know.
By giving out advice, he is merely repeating what other people are giving as advice, but it is advice nonetheless.
Right, but I'm doing it in a very authoritative, I know what I'm talking about voice.
You did that. You really sounded like you knew what you were talking about.
Yes. Come on, Ryan. Just, update. Update your iOS software, Ryan. That'll get it done. How could you not know that, Ryan?
But for those who may have thought they heard what David just said and were unsure, I will repeat it. The Hard Rock Bet app is live in the state of Florida.
That's right. Sports betting in the state of Florida is happening. We are now the largest state in the nation in which sports betting is legal.
A month from now, you can make in-person bets. We did not know how quickly they were going to fire the app up. They didn't say. They literally had press releases on when the sports books were opening. December 7th in the Miami area, December 8th in Tampa, December 11th at the Immokalee Casino. That was all. Not to mention they were having roulette and craps come in. That was all documented. No word was ever put out on what they were doing with the mobile app. And the whole case revolves around the mobile app. And they fired it.
Yes, they did.
I dare you to knock this live app off my shoulder.
Thank you, Robert Conrad. By the way, look that up. That reference is 45 years old.
Easy.
That's definitely the Carter administration. Could be the Ford. But it's alive. It's alive. There's sports betting in Florida. Is this the new phone books are here? The new phone books are here? Did we play the clip, Steve Martin and the Jerk?
By the way, it's 1977 for that ad.
There you go. The first year of the Carter administration. There you go. I dare you to knock it off. Did you see the outtakes when they did it? They kind of half missed, and then anyway. Look, it's actually an entertaining couple of minutes. Look it up. Hey, listen, you started the show in the aftermath of that glorious Jets-Chargers Monday Night Football game, in which you said we have got for the next week and a half one lousy NFL game after another in prime time. Okay, fine. What's the game Thursday night?
Thursday night.
No, just what's the game?
Carolina goes on the road searching for win number 2 at Chicago.
Okay. All right. And right now it's the teams who have the top 3 picks of the draft. Okay. Although Chicago has both of them.
Will Chicago
now
pick with their pick or with Carolina's pick? It's what's on the line Thursday night.
The Bears win either way. Now, however, what if I tell you Thursday night, Carolina, Chicago, you can bet on it.
Maybe I have more discipline than most. It does nothing to enhance that game.
Okay. All right.
Now, FGCU plus 12.5 tonight against Indiana, because I'm going to watch the game anyhow, may add a little bit to that one. I'd lay the points for what it's worth.
So a buddy of mine sent me a text because I wondered, I want to watch the pregame festivities and see what they're going to do to honor Bobby Knight. Apparently, they've already decided on the patch. They're going to wear the patch all year. I'm assuming it's going to be on the left breastplate there. It's RMK for his initials, and there's a star above each letter representing the 3 national championships. So
does that make him only a 3-star general? Too soon?
Not in Bloomington, he's not. Okay. Well, you know what? Come to think of it, The way they, sometimes when a guy is 4 and 5 stars and what have you, and then when they dismiss him for behavioral reasons, they take a star away. You know what, Mark, you may be onto something, because he clearly, whatever the max number of stars was, that's what he was. But Miles Brand definitely took at least 1 star away.
Maybe they just want to put 2 over that first natty since he was undefeated, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, you're darn right. Yep, coming up on nearly 50 years since we've had an undefeated men's national champion. That's 76 Hoosiers team. So now you've got a little more interest in FGCU Indiana.
Oh, yeah.
Hoosiers laying 12.5 is your play, huh?
I think so. They're pretty big. A lot of size. I don't know how FGCU is going to handle the size.
Well, especially since I have a feeling Indiana may get a few whistles tonight. I'm going to go out on a limb. First game at home after Bobby Knight's passing. I don't know. I'm thinking there may be a few early fouls on FGCU. So, I don't know, Mark. I get the Bears -3.5 on Thursday night. That game just got a lot more interesting for me.
I will say where it could get me, because Thursday night football, you and I have been lukewarm on it. Even when you were working Thursday night games, you were lukewarm on Thursday night football.
Right. The last year 4 of Fox's 5-year deal, they sold off year 5 to Amazon. Year 4, they actually started to give Fox some good games. It was like, this ain't bad.
But where it could really come into play, David, is Sunday morning. Because you've made your bets on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
You've done whatever you did. You're either on a roll
right.
and you want to keep going, or you're chasing. It's one of the other.
Yeah.
And the Colts and the Patriots are going to play at 9:30 on Sunday morning.
Oh.
And you're going to watch because you're up. What the hell else are you going to watch? That's where they could get you.
Colts are a 2-point favorite. See, these tight lines too, they lure you in. You're basically thinking all I got to do is pick a winner. Even though that's not the case. Like the Heat were laying 1.5 last night and they won and didn't cover. That's a tough beat, isn't it?
I think that jumped from 1 point to 1.5 late too.
That's a tough beat, isn't it? You're going, it's basically a pick 'em. Well, hey, what happened? He won. Great. No, they didn't cover. What do you mean they didn't cover? It was 1.5. They didn't cover. So anyway, those bad beats, they can now become a part of your life. It's why they call it gambling, and it's a Hard Rock app is live in Florida. There you go.
And at least for now and for the foreseeable future, we're going to be able to gamble in the state of Florida.
Yep. You know what? That should be a poll question. When does this app get shut down?
Does it get shut down?
Before Christmas, yes or no?
No.
Before the Super Bowl?
No.
I say yes. I say yes. I think the Supreme Court, according to Daniel Wallach, we're going by the people that we say are legal experts, not what we've gained from watching Law and Order over the years. Right? That Daniel Wallach says when the Supreme Court takes your case, proper etiquette is, even if right now you're on the winning side of the case, you take whatever you're doing and you put your business to the side.
I just don't think the Supreme Court will take the case before the Super Bowl.
You don't think, well, the case won't start, but I think they'll announce they're taking it.
That's about when the timing will be.
Okay. Well, if you're the Hard Rock app, you're like, listen, could you just wait till Monday afterward? How about President's Day? You do us a solid. Is there a hunting trip we can take one of you justices on? Anything we can do? No? To influence things?
I'm sure there's some European soccer you can bet on right now if you got to scratch that itch. Miller and Moulton, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Today was a day when and what's on tap. That's all next right here on the Florida Sports Network.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to shop with the best. And the mall is not the place to be. Here are my friends, Jason and Todd with the Diamond District. Take a stroll in the mall.
Pop into a few jewelry stores, and you'll soon discover you're in the wrong place. Rings begin to look all alike. You're not finding GIA certified diamonds. You quickly realize you know more than a salesperson helping you, and all the same financing gets pushed on you.
Visit Jason and me, and you'll find America's top bridal designers dealing exclusively with the Diamond District. You'll find the largest selection of GIA certified diamonds, all priced 8 to 10% over cost. You'll find educated sales consultants who have many years' experience and are not paid commissions.
And you'll find Todd and me in the store nearly every day, wanting to shake your hand and welcome you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
You know, pause. They can't do it at Indiana, but when Indiana comes to, another school, if you wanted to have some fun, you could have a chair tossing contest at halftime, really piss off some IU alumni.
Oh, my goodness. Hey, Wings Rangers TNT tonight.
Yeah.
Rangers are all banged up. No, Logic Man, I think they're actually going to be better without Harden. Maxey will be thrilled to be the 2 to Embiid's 1. They got a bunch of role players in the Clippers deal, and they got a big-time coach in Nick Nurse. I actually think the Sixers are going to be better. Come playoff time, I'll bet you they're a tougher team if the big fella's healthy than they were last year.
So they just did a segment on Get Up, Pretender or Contender.
Don't tell me they asked about the Jets.
I didn't see who was up. I just saw Pretender or Contender. They had the Dolphins. Yeah, they did the Dolphins and the Jets.
The Jets? They did the Jets. After last night, they did the Jets. By the way, every single ESPN expert in the pregame picked the Jets.
Well, was it on Get Up? Because that's Mike Greenberg.
Yeah. No, I understand.
Of course, they got to throw it in there.
I didn't see this. I just saw Pretender or Contender and saw both
they also
logos.
probably had the same conversation you guys had about Rodgers coming back. They probably tied that in. Said Rodgers with this defense, Pretender or Contender.
And then how last night's Lakers Heat game affects LeBron's legacy. No?
Now they're doing the countdown to first take. They bring those two on for a segment. Oh, crap.
There is no NBA tonight.
No NBA.
You find me an NBA game tonight.
Easy.
Just got word. The Seminole Tribe is offering limited access to existing Florida customers to test its Hard Rock Bet platform. So if you weren't a customer, you can't be one now, apparently.
Gotcha.
Just got that. That's the official statement from the tribe.
If you
I literally just got that texted to me through someone that David and I know from the casino.
So you had to already be a customer.
That's the look of it.
Gotcha.
Was that 2 years ago?
What's that?
That when the Hard Rock app worked.
Yeah.
Back in 10 seconds.
Welcome to the bonus hour, brought to you by Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes till the top of the hour, 16 until we're out of here. Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. So we found out during the break that the Hard Rock Sports app is operational, but in a limited way.
The official statement is that the Seminole Tribe is offering limited access to existing Florida customers to test its Hard Rock Bet platform.
So if you were a customer 2 years ago, the last time it was working?
Worked for me. All I know is that I logged on, went to deposit money, and they were accepting of my cash, David.
Okay.
If we get any more news, we will keep you updated on it. This all has happened literally in the last 40 minutes, 45 minutes.
Right before we were talking to Pat Chambers, this news broke.
So if you were gambling before, you can gamble again. Someone in our Twitch chat room saying they just downloaded an app, made a deposit, and they're in. So give it your best shot.
Okay. All right. So good luck.
It's time for someone to take back this segment, if for no other reason than to stop David from talking about Meghan and Harry. Here's Mark Miller with Today Was the Day When.
1805 we start. Lewis and Clark see the Pacific Ocean at the mouth of the Columbia River. 1848, Zachary Taylor is elected as our 12th president. 1874, Thomas Nast drew a cartoon depicting an elephant as the Republican Party symbol. 1876, Rutherford B. Hayes wins. Big dispute. One had the popular vote, one had the electoral vote. Never had that problem before.
No.
1943, the Lions and Giants play to the last scoreless tie in the NFL.
Thank goodness.
Just seemed like last night's was very close to it.
Yeah, at least for one team.
FDR got reelected again today in 44.
It's the fourth time he was elected.
Enough already.
Yeah, really?
We won the Ryder Cup today in 59. Glenn Hall today in 1962 set an NHL record of 503 consecutive games in goal.
Wow, that's 6+ years.
All without a mask.
Right.
Some would say this is a happy day. Others would say it's a sad day. Today in 66, John met Yoko.
Oh, man, she gets a bad rap. You do know this Beatles song is because of her, you know. She called Ringo and said, "Hey, I got this tape."
This isn't a Beatles song. I am so sick of people saying it's a Beatles song.
No, it is a Beatles song. It's all four of them. The only
George
thing
Harrison, it's a track he did in 1995. George Harrison's dead.
No, but at least he did it. It's not like they made up it's
I
him.
understand that, but they weren't in a room doing the song together.
No, he was in a kitchen apparently. And they were able to take out the background noise, but it is George Harrison.
Okay, so because the Beatles are releasing an AI song in 2023, David thinks we should forgive Yoko Ono. That's essentially what I'm taking from this.
Well, no, I mean, you have to admit, she did get it. They were breaking up without Yoko. They were. I mean, come on. I mean, they basically, it was a 3-year breakup, for goodness sakes.
People need a scapegoat.
By the way, the other guys in the band don't hate her. Never hated her.
I never said I hated her. I just said it was either a good day or a bad day, depending on how you look at it.
But I'm saying you would think if she was the cause of the breakup, there would be angst with Paul or Ringo or George.
Especially Ringo.
Right. Yeah, because, I mean, he's never going to get a gig like this. But they didn't have any angst towards her. It was just a fan base who had to blame somebody.
All right.
It's like Harry and Meghan. You got to blame Meghan.
Yeah, I knew it. Somehow, some way, you could work him into it. 67, LBJ signs a bill establishing the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. 72, Nixon was reelected.
In a landslide.
Yeah, 149 states. That same day, Joe Biden was elected to the U.S. Senate. 1972, folks.
Are you implying he's old?
I'm not implying he is old.
Yes, he is.
No implications needed there, David. 1976, Gone with the Wind makes its broadcast television debut on NBC. It earned a 65% share of TV viewers.
Well, it wasn't much competition.
Today in 91, Magic announced that he had HIV and retired from the Lakers.
It was a slow news day at 4:00. That's all I remember from that day. I had literally my feet up on the desk trying to put together a 3.5-minute sportscast in Binghamton, New York, going, what the hell am I going to talk about?
The election between George Bush and Al Gore was found inconclusive today in 2000.
Still is.
And Biden was declared the winner today in 2020. Billy Graham born today. Pitcher Jim Cott is 85. Joni Mitchell is 80. Peter Brady, Christopher Knight is 68. And singer Lord is 27. What did I miss, David?
Not much, man. You hit on all the biggies today. The only thing I would say is Steve McQueen died today in 1980. The king of cool, as he was known. Now that's Joe Burrow.
Damn right it is. You're damn right it is.
You've heard folks elsewhere mock Florida is gonna Florida. Well, Mark Miller sees it differently. He calls it the good, the bad, and the ugly. What you got, Mark?
David, this good is for you and your wife. Because a group of Michigan coworkers have been playing the lottery together for 14 years. They finally hit a $100,000 Powerball prize. The 4-person group, dubbed as the Blessed Lottery Club, they've been buying tickets together for 14 years and finally hit a winner. How long you been playing your father-in-law's numbers?
Well, let's see. He's been dead 22 and a half years.
There's still hope, David.
I mean, not only that, he was a minister, for goodness sakes. I mean, he had to get a 10 minutes with the big fella or the big lady. I mean, whatever your view is. I mean, come on. I'm looking for, $5,000. A little something.
For the bad, we go to Naples, where a driver of an SUV was putting his boat in the water. Then he put his SUV in the water, too.
I hate
You
when
can
that
watch
happens.
rescue divers retrieve the car and trailer on the Naples Fire and Rescue Facebook page. No one was injured. Car shot. Finally, the ugly. We go to Lansing, Michigan, where a deer crashed into a lingerie store and trashed the inside of the shop before finding its way back outside. Covered in bras, panties, and other items, the deer left through the door that was propped open by the store's owner after her store was completely trashed by the deer.
Antlers? Do we have photos? I mean, think about all that could get stuck on those antlers, man.
Some pricey items. And that is the good, the bad, and the ugly on today, November the 7th, 2023.
Okay, according to my info here, there's no NBA tonight. Can we back that up? The places that I go say there's no NBA tonight. That whole in-season tournament resumes tomorrow.
Yeah, you're right. And literally everybody's playing tomorrow. No games tonight in the NBA.
There's like 10 games in the NHL tonight. The Lightning back at it after blowing a 4-1 lead in Toronto and losing in overtime. They're in Montreal.
They're only a slight favorite against the lousy Habs. But the Lightning expect to go with their backup goaltender, Tompkins, and you can get him at minus 140 against a lousy Montreal team for what it's worth if you want to do that on the Hard Rock Bet app.
Well, I might actually want to take Montreal if I'm getting the backup goalie. Hey, TNT tonight, it's your guys' Wings against my Rangers. Rangers are banged up. I'd bet the Wings tonight, and I'm not kidding. I mean, Adam Fox is out for a while. They're out at least 3 guys in the regular lineup. Shesterkin's not playing. He's going to miss some time. I'm serious. I'd play the Wings tonight.
Are you Shesterkin me off?
So, anyway, got that going for you, which is nice. Hey, we got some action, don't we?
We sure should.
I mean, the whole 50.
We got 3 games. We got the biggie. You got the biggest rivalry in the state of Michigan tonight. Central and Western.
Fire up.
7
and
o'clock.
Things be lit on fire, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
7 o'clock on the U. You could bet that at the Hard Rock app.
Snowstorm in this one.
Ooh, lake effect snow in Kalamazoo tonight? Don't know. I'll take the Broncos at home and lay the 3.
Chips money line. That's what I got. Fire up.
I'll take the Chips. While the Stallions was recording, he probably recorded a few Mac opponents just to thank McElwain and his staff for the good spot on the sidelines. So I'll bet you the Chips of Western Michigan signals too. Ball State's at Northern Illinois, 7 o'clock on CBS Sports Network. And Ohio on the Deuce against Buffalo at 7:30. College hoops tonight, Big Ten Network, 6:30. Indiana hosting FGCU. We have conflicting information. So the Hard Rock, the Seminole Tribe, they sent out a Twix that said, it's only past customers the app will work for. We got new customers all in the chat room here that are like, no, man, I just signed up. It's working for me.
Did they maybe take over or absorb a couple other sports books or something, and that's what it is?
No.
Like people were
No. It's
no.
Yeah, that can't happen. It's just
No.
their app. But apparently, if you're in the state of Florida, you can bet. That's what we've come to find out.
So
a soft open for the app because they had made the announcements of their in-person betting last week. They will open in December. Few different dates depending on where you are in the state. But the Hard Rock Sports Betting app went live a little before 9 a.m. this morning.
So the Hard Rock with a soft open. See what they did there?
I see that.
Yeah, this feels like a don't ask, don't tell situation. If it works for you, run with it. If it takes your money, eat your heart out. Go for it.
A mutual friend of ours sent us a text about 20 minutes after he found out, which he says, I'm working on a European soccer parlay. What do you know about these teams? Then he was asking a KHL question. What do we know about Belarus on the ice?
Premier League gets going at about 12:45. My day is planned, folks. I don't even know if I'll be at work tomorrow. I can make so much money today.
Or we might have to add a year onto the contract.
One or the other.
Fantastic.
How long does it last? We have no idea.
I say over under the Super Bowl. That should be, what's that, 3 months basically to the day? Yeah.
I'd go over.
I'm going under. I think there's an injunction right around the conference championship weekend.
I'll go with a push. Right up until the Super Bowl. It's done.
Supreme Court won't be working in December.
No, conference championship weekend. So that's like late January.
Oh, I'm NFL. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. No, not college. Sorry. NFL.
So there you have it. The sports gambling Hard Rock app is live. We have sports betting in Florida. We are now the largest state in the nation to have legalized sports wagering.
And your first bet could be FGCU. Either you're taking the 12.5 or you're betting against them against Indiana at Assembly Hall tonight. Miller and Moulton. Bud Elliott on the show tomorrow. I'll bet you he's aware about the app.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center.